Has he found me? There I am. Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, it's Monday. Can you believe how fast the weekend went by? It did for me, at the very least. Maybe it didn't for you. Maybe you had one of them slow weekends and I'm jealous. Mine just sort of flew past. Welcome in, Michael Patterson. How are you doing? It's Monday. How has the week treated your beginnings so far? Actually, let me bring the chat up here so we can be a bit more personal before we get started today. Isaac, you really need to learn to bring the camera down. Also, why is my lights on in my kitchen? Echo, turn off the lights in the kitchen. There we go. Bit bright in there. don't need it to be that bright in there. So yeah, welcome in to the void, everybody. It's time to discuss the TGA's, the Jeff Adverts nominees. I like that. I might use that in the future. Thank you for the good ideas. Jeff's Adverts Awards. So yeah, I've been very good. I have not looked at them yet. So everything that we see today is going to be like fresh thoughts and discussions. Obviously, I want to wait for more people to show up if they want to join in. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you about my day. I didn't get anything done today. Do you ever have those days where you sat down to do some work or stood up to do some work, depending on your job, and you're like, this is what I'm going to do today, and then just none of it kind of gets done? Like, I did my thumbnails for YouTube, so like my thumbnails are up to date on the streams from last week, and that's kind of all I've done. To be fair, I was looking up graphic packs today. I was looking at like assets I could use for potentially changing the theme of the stream in the future. And as is often the case, because of the kind of styles that I like to pull from, there was just nothing. I could not find a single fucking thing that I was like, oh, that's really nice. Or I wonder if I could get them to change this one thing and it would be perfect. It was literally just like, man, this is all really cookie cutter cliche shit. And it's not quite what I'm after. So I'm probably going to have to go and look up some artists and get some custom shit done for like the first time ever, which is annoying. Because I've always like, it's not that I don't want to pay artists, obviously. It's literally just like, I'm poor. And I make everything from scratch normally. I grab a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I like that PNG, and I like that loop, and I like these colors, and then I just make something out of those things. And I was not having any luck with it at all today. Apparently, people don't actually want octopus stuff in their streams. They want tentacles. Plenty of that going around, but this is not quite what I'm after. And then all of the transitions were just like, you know, water washing up on a beach, and I'm like, it's not quite what I'm after. I'm being fussy about it though, and I know that's the problem. So I can get some placeholders, but I won't like any of them. So I don't want to get them. And no, I didn't think of that half an hour ago and was totally spontaneous thought. Yeah, just came to you. A genius moment. Never happens to me, I swear. Welcome in, Pete. Lovely to see you. People want tentacles? I wonder why. Do you know, yeah, it's the same one that comes up every time. There's this really nice, really nicely drawn like tentacles, like some really nice ones, but it's one of those things for VTubers. You know a lot of VTubers have that thing where you can throw shit at them. And it was just like a bunch of tentacle assets that you could chuck at them, and they're all very round and very I don't know, squishy looking, I guess you could put it. Like, and they look great. Throwing shit at VTube, throwing things throwing things at VTubers, or in some cases, I guess somebody has little emoji poos, right? But yeah, it was a set of that, and it was like they're really nicely drawn. And there's like 100 of them in this pack. I'm like, I could probably make something out of that, but again, it's not quite what I'm going for. I don't want people to get the impression that like I'm into like sex jokes basically on the channel. It's like I don't mind people making sex jokes, but I don't want people to think it's like my whole vibe is that I'm a little cheeky. It's like it's not what we're doing here. And then the other stuff was like I did see quite a fun little you know, but like when a raid comes in, it was like a bunch of pirate ships that like dynamically, so depending on how many people come along with the raid, there's more ships. And I was like, that's really cool, but I'm not really going for the pirate look either. So I'm kind of stuck in this weird limbo where I'm like, am I looking for submarine stuff? Is that what I'm looking for? I'm looking for dank metal enclosures with portholes and stuff, and I'm like, I guess that's the closest I can get to what I'm quite after. And like everything else was like I said, like either witchy or piratey or really cartoony in a way that was like past Disney, you know? And I was like, none of these. I wish I could just explain to somebody what it is I'm after. I'm like, just make the water darker. Just make the water so dark, please. But I don't want it to be creepy, and no one will know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not trying to make it like a horror movie, except kinda the vibe I want looks like horror stuff. Because when I did start looking up Kraken things or like submarine stuff, that's when it was like, you know, there was this really cool one that was like, you know, mostly black with tentacles coming out the bottom of it. And I was like, oh, that looks really rad. I'm not a horror streamer. and it had like, you know, the flashing red lightning, like a really old movie poster, basically. And an old horror movie poster. And I was like, fuck, it's not what I'm after either. I just, so yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to go and find an artist I like and then be like, here's a bunch of stuff. Don't make it too spooky. Like, do this, but strip out all of the horror elements from it and keep it cool. And I still don't think I'll be able to explain it properly. I don't think I'll be able to do it. So I don't know how to achieve what I'm thinking of. Blame the dream of the fisherman's wife. What is that safe for me to look up? What is that? The dream of the... Oh, at least it didn't come up. That's usually a bad sign. Fisherman's wife. Is it like a movie or something? Or a book? Oh, it's because I spelt it wrong. Hang on. Oh, it's a really... Okay, yeah, I know this one. I do know this one. I probably knew it by its real name. It's an ancient Japanese tale. About, a diver and 2 octopi. Or something like that. But yeah, anyway. Let's close that. So yeah, I didn't have an awful lot of luck. I was technically doing work, but none of it felt like I was doing work because I came up with basically nothing at the end of it. The closest I could get, actually, let me show you one thing. I'll open a different browser for this so that you don't have to see my login. We'll open Edge. That'll be safe. So what I normally do is I go on Etsy for a lot of my stuff. So if I go for was it stream overlays? I'm probably gonna have a real problem with this. Hang on, I'll get one thing open so that you can take a look at it. And this was another one. This one was cute. Not what I'm after though. Where was the other one? I know exactly what. Oh, I can show you the the tentacle files as well. No, there's a specific. There it is. Okay, okay. So, let's bring this up on the big screen so you can take a look at it. And I'm not logged in, so you don't have to worry about anything. So, this was the closest I could get to kind of what I'm thinking of. It's kind of hard to see until you take a look at it. I've bought stuff from Sunny Motions before. I do generally like some of their work. However, this artwork is ugly as hell. And it's so over designed. But it has that sort of cosmic thing that I vibe with. Hang on, I've just realized I don't have the chat up anymore. Where is it? I need you over here so that I can see you. There we go. So yeah, it has that sort of cosmic thing that I'm going for with the octopus. Wrong type of octopus, but still an octopus. That's something to sort of start with. I don't buy these pre-made packs. I don't like them because it's always got a bunch of stuff that I just don't want or need. But they're good for giving me ideas for what I'm after. And I was like, right, this, but way less loud. Way less stars, way less planets. Some of them, but not all of them, right? That's the kind of thing that I'm going for. Like, and I don't want the tentacle shit all over my screens and things like that. But this is the closest that I could think of that was like maybe a little like what I'm after. But just to show you, I think it shows it in motion as well. I don't know if I can full screen that though. Can I open it in another tab and it'll be bigger? Yeah, there we go. So as you see, this is all animated, and this is one of the reasons I don't like buying packs like this is because I don't generally like the type of animations they go for. I don't know how to explain this animation style, but it feels like someone's tugging at it with the like bend tool or something, and I've never vibed with that. And also I prefer to make things custom, so it's just not what I'm after anyway. Live 2D like? Is that what it's called? Hang on. Oh, where it's, yeah, because everyone is able to do it, yeah. This explains it perfectly already, and that's not even in motion. So, yeah, it's where you're sort of just pulling at assets and it sort of reshapes them as you pull it. Essentially, it's not what I'm after. I don't like it. I think it's actually kind of ugly. Where did I put it? Yeah. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with this pack, and I think the person that makes these things is very talented because I do like their work, generally speaking. But it's just like, bleh. I just think it looks... I don't know. You know, pre-AI, pre-cheap AI, it looks the same as that. If that makes sense. It's person with no animation chops, but plenty of art, like design sort of expertise, if that makes sense. So anyway, Sunny Motions, they do make really good stuff, usually. That's the closest I could find. So I don't know if I should find an artist I like and then show them this and be like, do this but less. Do this but way less with portholes instead. Anyway, so the other things that I found I thought might be fun to show you is a little animated transition. That's almost exactly what I'm after, except I don't want it to be cute. I want it to be Isaac, so I guess it will be cute. But yeah, but that still means that I could potentially go to this artist and say, hey, here's the design for my octopus. Can we change it? And I might be able to do something like that. Unless it's stolen. We don't know. We don't know. The other one I was talking about was this one, where it's like, he's got the circle, right? I kind of like that, but it's one of those over-designed overlays. I know I spoke about this, like, did I talk about it last week, where I'm just like, I don't need any of this shit. It's such a waste of space to me. I'm like, I don't need the chat to constantly be there. Like, I can hide that. It's fine. But I like this, the way the tentacles are sort of just like around the edges. That's sort of, at least less is happening there. So I do kind of like that idea. The bubbles are a great idea as well. And then I found this and I was like, oh shit. This is adorable. This is a PNG tuber. Like, with a couple of animations that you can... oh no, it looks edible. It's cute as hell, isn't it? I love it. And it's the right type of octopus. This is the type of octopus that Isaac is meant to be. It's a Dumbo or a Flapjack or an Umbrella octopus. I can't believe that it's got 3 different names. But yeah, so this is kind of what he might look like, just not as chibi, and he won't have a mouth. Because I don't want that. I want him to look like an octopus still. I think I'm gonna give him 2 extra eyes as well. I did some like some designs with 3 eyes, and the big eye just isn't working for me. So I think I might just give him 4 eyes and like just give him lots of eyes. I might make him a big spider. That could be fun. A cute little Dumbo octopus with spider eyes instead. And then this is what I was talking about. So it's like these really nicely drawn, like, tentacle assets from all different colors, all different sizes, all different sort of poses. And this is what they're using them for. Which I kind of love. Like, this is what they're like, but it also comes with some little octo pets, so it's not the only thing. And as you can see, there's fucking hundreds of the things. Hang on, let's put that back. Yeah, over 100 files, including mirrored. So if you like any of them, you can just have them, right? And I'm still kind of tempted to buy them just because I think they're really good. I don't know that I'd have any use for them, especially as I'm not a VTuber, but it might be kind of neat to have them ready to go or something, and then maybe learn to edit a couple of them if they've got some closer to white ones, potentially. But that's kind of it. That's all I really found that I was like, yeah, this is good. This is good. I like this. Because, yeah, so this is the kind of thing. And they're all like this. All the underwater ones look the same. They've all got that vaguely, like, see, Sunny Motions again. Here we go. So, like, I like this work. I think it's a really good one. But it's just not what I'm after. So yeah, it's like this, you know, sunken ship and like moving animals and bubbles in the water and stuff. And it's usually got some kind of vaguely like bubbly kind of text, although this one doesn't. And they're all kind of like that. Like, I haven't had scenes that look like this in a long time. And I very rarely buy the alert packs either. Because I can do stuff with alerts on my own, but I'm like, it's so, I don't know, what's the word? Extra? It's so much. It's so, there's a lot constantly going on. And I'm like, again, it's not quite what I'm after. It's not quite what I want. See, another one from Sunny Motions. They've done a bunch of octopus stuff. Hey! Ahoy! Speaking of pirates. Welcome in, DW. How you doing? Isaac will announce you momentarily.
Holy shit, it's Daddy Wisdom raiding the void. How was just chatting?
Ooh!
Lena waving.
What were you just chatting about? Let us know in chat. What were you just chatting about? I'm just letting people know that I have been doing work today. I've been trying to find new assets for the brand redesign stuff. So I'm just showing some of it off to give people an idea of what I'm not looking for. So don't take the octopus tentacle thing on screen as like a given for what we're going to be doing. A lovely Madhouse listing, my favorite. How crazy were they today? And welcome to the Raiders, by the way. If you don't know who I am, I'm Anomalina. I'm a variety streamer from the UK. My pronouns are she, they. And today we are going to be looking at the Game Awards nominees after I'm done talking about future plans for the streams. I am in the middle of thinking of doing a minor rebrand, like a miniature rebrand. Like I'm keeping my name, but we might be doing an underwater theme, and so I'm showing everyone the stuff I found and how it's like, no, this isn't me. This isn't like, it's lovely, it's beautiful. I'm never gonna slag off anyone's designs, but it ain't me. This is very, I can't even put the words on it. It's not me. It's the Jeff adverts. I'm sorry. It's not the Game Awards. It's the Jeff adverts. Which is what we're going to be checking out in a moment. So how is everybody doing? Thank you for bringing your people along. Oh, how's Kitty Cat, Daddy Wisdom? Welcome in, Pixie Lemonade. Lovely to see you. Welcome to the Void. Yeah, so what am I doing? Oh, I didn't see this one earlier. This is maybe closer to what I'm after, because it's like pale, right? Archie's on the meds, but way better than he was. I'm glad to hear Archie is not doing well. Can we
I
get...
think it's imperative that you know Daddy Wisdom is lurking.
I love that. I keep forgetting that I have that set up. Yeah, go do some dadmin. I'm so glad that Archie is doing better. Archie is Daddy Wisdom's cat, for anyone who doesn't know, and Archie has been a little unwell lately, but they're on the mend, which is lovely to hear. And for anyone who is curious, I also have my own kitty cat. She is sitting with me. She's staying warm. I know it's hard to see because she's black, but she is here. Trying to gather as much warmth as she can, because I don't know about any of you, but it got cold here real fast overnight, and apparently it's meant to snow tomorrow where I am. My mum told me earlier, she's like, I think it's meant to snow on Wednesday, and I looked at my thing and it was like, no, tomorrow. Oh, why did my music stop abruptly? That was upsetting. Oh, yeah, typical, it picks Under the Sea while I'm looking at Under the Sea animation packs. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, before everybody came along, so this was the kind of stuff I was looking at, and it's like, a lot of them are so similar, and it's not quite what I'm after. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do a proper drawing session and then shop around some artists. So this is the kind of thing that I was looking at that was closer to what I am looking for. Where was the other one? Not that one. There was another one. Oh, that's kind of neat, actually. Should we open that one? Because I like scary stuff, but I'm not a horror streamer, so I'm like, I can't have the Cthulhu stuff, right? I can't have the Kraken stuff. I can't have the pirate stuff. It's not, no. It's too spoopy. People will expect me to play Dead by Daylight because I'm a feminine presenting person. And in a horror looking thing. So anyway, shall we stop having a look at that? Shall we? As we've had a warm-up, shall we start taking a look at the Game Awards? Hang on, I'm going to have a cup of tea. I'm going to have a sip. Oh, that's so much better. I'm so glad for that. I've just realised. My stream preview is playing very slowly. Refresh. Why are you at 10 frames a second? That better not be real, you motherfucker. I work really hard to make sure that shit don't happen. As someone with 1,000 plus hours on Dead by Daylight, do not play Dead by Daylight. I mean, I'm not going to anyway because it's a multiplayer game. And I'm not going to because I don't want people to think that that's my entire shtick. Because I don't know if any of you have ever really experienced this on Twitch, but if you go to the Dead by Daylight category, nearly all women, all feminine presenting people, nearly every single one of them. It's like a 90% dominated, like, women or feminine presenting people. It'll do a number on your mental health real quick. I mean, Again, I wouldn't do it because it's a multiplayer game. Multiplayer games already do that to me. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. Women love the spooky daddies. They do. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not one of them. And I don't want to give people false impressions if they come to my stream and they're all like, hey, look, she's got like spiders in the corner of her streams and octopuses and like Cthulhu in the background. She must be really into it. No, I'm not. Like, I like horror, but I'm really particular about it. So, right, folks. Shall we take a look at these nominees then? Like I said at the start, I have not taken a single look at any of these, so I don't know what the nominations are. I didn't watch Zach Bussey, who is streaming the same thing. Because normally I watch his streams before I go live on a Monday, or whenever he goes live. Sometimes it's hard to know when he's going to go live. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what the I don't even know what the categories are because I didn't look at them. I was like, no, we can keep this all fresh for Monday. If Wesker ran up to us, I would say, you guys go on. I will hold him off. Joa, I will give you that one thing from horror. Absolutely. I would be like, I'll take one for the team, guys. If Wesker shows up or if Lady Dimitrescu shows up, I will definitely stick around. I will give a hand. Right then. What the fuck do we do? 24 days, so Game Awards. For anyone who doesn't know, it is a yearly event presented by Jeff Keighley. As Michael has rightfully called it, it is the Jeff adverts. The TGAs, they tend to be squashed down to. And it is an award show for the video game industry, highlighting different genres and sometimes like different production houses, that kind of thing. And it is a good place for a bunch of adverts to happen, and which is why we tend to watch them. So there is a potential that we might be doing a co-stream of this in December when the Game Awards is on. However, I think it's on at like, isn't it on at like midnight or something? Hang on. Or was it 1 a.m? I know I checked this already. So yeah, it starts at midnight on a Friday. So at least that's kind. That's technically Saturday morning. So maybe I won't be doing a live react to it, but maybe the following morning I'll do one. Yeah, exactly. For us, it's a real bad time in the UK. So maybe if you're interested in watching it with me, I'll either do it on the Discord or I'll do a one-off Saturday stream. And we can take a look at it together because that'd be kind of fun. It's always I really like these shows because I love the adverts, but I know a lot of people, they just want the awards, right? But let's be real, nobody watches the award shows to watch the awards. No one gives a shit about the awards, really. Generally speaking, we care about the adverts. So I think it's really silly for people to get mad about the adverts. Right. So the nominees. Let's go take a look. Let's have a look, see if it loads. That's a great start. Great start, Jeff. The vote now button isn't working. I don't give a shit for the awards, but the event is just fun. Exactly, because of the adverts. Isn't this a standard whenever I'm streaming? It's because, oh, it is loading. It's trying. I think maybe because it only went live a couple hours ago, it might have crashed. Yeah, the website is definitely being wonky, so we might even have a problem here. Shall I click this one and open it in a new tab? Let's see if that gets us anywhere. Sorry, my bots are overloading it. Let me turn them off. Thank you. That would be really nice of you. Look how nasty my hair is looking at the moment. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow. I'm so excited. It's gone way too long. Well, I guess we're not looking at the fucking nominees at the moment, are we? I apologize. Technical difficulties and all that. And also, I'm on Firefox. We get this problem sometimes. I don't know if anyone else here uses Firefox, but sometimes it's a bit of a struggle bus, isn't it? Should we open it on Edge as well? See if it has any See if it has better caching. Nope. Typical. So how was your weekend, everybody? While we wait for this to open. What were we up to? Did you have any plans? I did try to get some other stuff done today, which is like another like reason it's super. There's like a good reason that I am having an ADHD assessment on Wednesday. Oh no. There's a YouTube video of the nominations. Yeah, but that's not as fun. I want to look at them like slowly revealed. But if that's the only way that we can do it, if the website's going to be a bit rubbish about it, it might be the only option. But yeah, I downloaded a new tool, which is called Super Productivity. I don't know if you can see that there. It's probably quite small on mobile view, so I apologize if you're on mobile watching it in vertical. Yeah, I got this new product, new app called Super Productivity. Linking it in gaming news. Thank you. The browser is slowing down. Firefox. To speed up your browser, stop this page. Okay. Stop the page. Vote now. No. Okay, it's busted. It's too soon. We'll go have a look at the video. Thank you. Let me go grab it. So yeah, I was planning, as I get this open, like to try and use this new tool, Super Productivity, to help me start scheduling the new streaming plans, the new rota, as it were, you know, my new working schedule. And I fully intended to use that today, but because I spent so long looking at streaming graphics, I actually didn't get around to using it, which is dumb because some of the features in it are built specifically for that kind of thing. It's like to see how how long you actually take to do tasks to help you block your time out better, and it slowly learns the way that you do stuff the more you use it. So I really should have like just tracked that I was looking for streaming assets so that it could tell me how long I've been doing it, because I don't always notice these things. Like I didn't realize until I looked at the, you know, on your phones you can look at how much you use specific apps and for how long. And I discovered that when I was doing my research to get this new case for my phone with the magnet backing on it, I was doing that for 2 hours. What the fuck do you mean I was looking at phone cases for 2 hours? That's nuts. And I need stuff to do that for me, so that I can start learning not to do things like that more often, because that's what I do. I get distracted by a thing, and the next thing I know, it's dinner time. So fingers crossed, Super Productivity helps me in the future so that we can figure out what my streaming plans are going to be. Right, how long is this video? 10 minutes long. Right, let's turn the music off. Dang, I hope it helps. Me too! And it's going to help with what we're going to be doing. So for anyone who hasn't been around, who isn't aware, I'm currently like a variety streamer, but I primarily play video games or talk about video game news. However, I have not had a job for a few months. And I am planning to start streaming during the day. Because I'm currently spending my entire day with nothing to do because I don't have work, and I won't be getting a new job for quite some time because I'm not well, to be frank. And so I'm just sitting here doing fuck all day, going stir crazy because I'm bored, and I have no reason to get up and do things, which means I'm not also like getting exercise. I'm not going outside. I'm not motivated to make good meals, that kind of thing. I'm just waiting till stream time, and that's no good. And it's also messing with my sleep pattern. So I was thinking if I just stream full time, like a normal job, I could probably build a routine again. So that's what we're going to be starting to do. So if you want to see fitness streams in the future, if you want to do co-working streams in the future, where you see how I run everything, you're more than welcome to come and join me. Hit that follow button or subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you want to see me learn how to do shit like that. But for now, why don't we have a look at this video from Jeffrey, from Sir Jeff of the Jeff adverts. All right. Let's see. It's always too loud.
Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Keighley, and the Game Awards season is officially here.
Yay!
Leading up to our live show streaming everywhere on Thursday, December 11th. Welcome to our 2025 Global Nomination
It's a
Announcement
Friday,
Session.
you liar.
Every year, we come together as a community to celebrate and, of course, debate the absolute best in video games. And, of course, also get a look at what's next from our industry.
I'm very disappointed that we can't see his shoes. I want to see what stupid shoes he's wearing with this lovely suit, because he does it every year. He wears a really nice suit and then the gaudiest, nastiest, like, cool trainers on the planet.
Most
I hope they're the gold ones. I like the gold
there have been
ones.
So many incredible games created and updated, but only a handful have the honor of being selected as nominees for the Game Awards by our global voting jury. Who's in the running? Well, you're about to find out.
Yeah.
We reveal this year's nominees
Let's
across
go.
all the categories, and you can help select the winners by voting at thegameawards.com. All right, should we do it? Here's the first category.
Wait. What are the bets that I have only played literally 5 of these games maximum, but most likely actually only 3? And one of them is Expedition 33. Anyway.
For best performance, the nominees are
I think
Ben
I was
Starr
a
for
0.
Clear
Oh my
Obscure
gosh.
Expedition 33.
Oh, this is good. This is good. This is a great start. Yeah, no. Start
The
again.
nominees are Ben Starr for Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Absolutely.
Charlie Cox for Claire Obscure Expedition
The best
33.
character.
Erika Ishii for Ghost of Yote. Jennifer English for Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
I knew it.
Komatsu Kato for Silent Hill.
Oh, actually,
and
though.
Troy Baker for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. For best ongoing game.
Wait. Don't go so fast. No wonder it's only 10 minutes long. Okay, so I played one of these. I did intend to play Troy mentioned, yeah. I should have. I still haven't. See, this is what I'm talking about. The stuff that I keep meaning to add to the stream, that I haven't ever gotten around to it. And one of them is the more times that Troy is mentioned by both me and chat, the more you can see him on screen. I've never gotten around to it. Oh my god, Troy does voice acting? Oh, it's weird, isn't it? Can't believe they'd hide that from us and just sit around in the Discord knowing that he's banned. In my opinion, 3 nominations in one category is kind of pushing it. I don't know, man. You need more than 2, because if you only have 2, it leads to a 50-50, right? So you have to have 3 to eke it out a little more.
Ongoing game. The nominees are
No, go back. Because, right, so I played one of these. I watched a Logicoma play another one. I fully intend to play the other 2, right? My voice goes to Charlie or my vote even. Yeah, so Ben Starr, wonderful human being. I would love to be his best friend. I would love, like, Ben, I know I'm nobody. I know I average 5 to 10 viewers on Twitch, but if you want to come and visit me in my home for a podcast someday, I will invent a podcast for you to come on, because I think you're wonderful. But he's an absolutely astounding voice actor, and I really enjoyed his part in Expedition 33. I would constantly say how much I hated him, but he was actually my favorite character, right? I loved him to bits because he was like regrettable as a human being sometimes, and I'm like, I like that in my characters in video games. I like it when it's like, you're flawed like the rest of us. It's
Claire
wonderful,
Obscure Expedition 33.
right?
Charlie Cox.
However, Gustav made me fall in love with a character so fucking quick. And he pulled off a performance in the span of 8 hours recording that most people could not do across several months, right? There was something about his performance, and obviously the performance capture of the performance, you know, the mocap artist alongside his voice work made him feel so real as well. So I kind of love them both.
Box for Claire Obscure Expedition
Right?
33. Erika Ishii for Ghost of Yote.
I'm a huge Dropout fan. And Erika is one of my favorite online gremlins. She's like such a wild personality that is so unsure of herself in a way that's super endearing, in a way that she deserves to feel more confidence in what she does. And from what I've seen since she got this role, especially, the strength and courage she has in her work has grown tenfold in the last couple of years. And I was so happy to hear that she got this role in Ghost of Yote, because it's like a really big deal. You know, she wasn't. I listened to her in an interview, and she said that she only really just started getting into voice acting, even though she's loved it for like, many years. But it wasn't until like she got, started pushing herself a little bit more, she found this role, and it was given to her, right? Because she has the chops for it. She is a wonderful actor. And I'm kind of sad that I'm not able to play it because I don't have a PlayStation. I would love to play a game as Erika Ishii, and I'm sad I don't get to see the performance. Unless anyone wants to chuck me 800 quid for a PlayStation now. Which is not going to happen, and please don't do that. But yeah, I will be glad to have a solidly running PC in a couple. Yeah, because PlayStation's, the price keeps going up, right? On PlayStation, it's like what, 600-700 quid now for a PlayStation. So, well, I guess I could get one secondhand, couldn't I? But even then, that's still going to be as expensive as a brand new one was when they first came out. Hey, just wanted to say, I think the nominees for this year are brilliant, but I have one problem with how the votes are decided, the 90-10 split. Jack Coney, welcome in on YouTube. I don't personally care about the 90-10 split, because ultimately, none of it matters, and it's just for fun. However, I've only just started looking at what the nominees are, so I don't know what's coming up, but again, 90-10 split doesn't matter. Who cares? 480 for a PlayStation. Is that secondhand though? Is that a secondhand one? And is it one with a disc drive? Because I'm not getting one without a disc drive.
Jennifer English for Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
That's new? Really? Really? Where? Am I just thinking of American prices for everything? Because I listen to primarily American stuff. Everywhere. All right, I take it back then. 480 is not that bad. I paid 400 for the Switch. So I guess that ain't bad. Right. So next person, best performance. Konatsu Kato. Sorry. I don't know how many people here played Silent Hill, but their performance was absolutely astounding. It's so hard to explain when it'll make me come across as a weeb, right? Because it'll be like, Japanese voice acting is better. Not always the case, actually. You can absolutely have a Japanese performance that isn't that good. However, when you have a Japanese studio working on a game that is set in a specific era of Japan and being directed to a person from Japan who might understand like the history of their country a bit better, I feel like it does come across. It's very it's very tangible what you see them doing, and again with the performance capture that they put into the game, the way the kids react with each other feels honest. It feels genuine, right? Whereas when you put the American voice acting on, I'm not saying the voice acting is bad for the American side, however, because they are clearly in their late 30s, which didn't help. They sound way too old on the American. You can tell that there's been like not a translation error of some kind, but more sort of like, because it's had to go through 2 language barriers to get to the director, it's something is lost in translation in the performance of how they're doing things. The way they say things doesn't feel natural or genuine because it shouldn't. Because it just shouldn't, because it's in English, but it's still with this entirely Japanese style and feel about things that people would have worried about, children would have worried about in Japan in the, you know, when was this set? In the 50s, wasn't it? 50s or 60s? And so things were like inherently different, and because of that barrier, that change into like going through even just going through 1 or 2 directors to get to that performance, something is lost there, and it feels so wooden when you hear it. And especially if you isolate it as well, if you like get rid of everything off screen and you just listen to it, you can tell they're not in the room together. Whereas in the Japanese performance, I don't think so. I think it sounds incredibly real, and her performance was absolutely incredible.
Matsukato for Silent Hill F, and Troy Baker for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
I can't really say much to this one. We know the joke on this channel. Apparently, I hate Troy Baker. It's been going on for a few years. I don't hate Troy Baker. I think he's a brilliant actor. He's incredibly talented, and his Indiana Jones is the most spot-on thing I've ever listened to. It is insane how good he is at that indie impression, and the game seems perfectly fine as well. The game seems really cool, and I do want to play it someday, but I don't have Game Pass. Well, I've got Game Pass for a little while. We'll see how long it lasts, shall we? Maybe I should play that. I don't know. But I haven't actually had any experience with this one. I haven't watched it, I haven't played it, so I can't say anything about it. But from what I heard, it was astounding.
For Best Ongoing Game, the nominees are Final Fantasy XIV,
of course,
Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals.
Does Helldivers 2 count? Carry on.
And No Man's Sky. For Best...
What do you mean? Hang on. Helldivers, I know it's been out a year. I get that it's been out a year, and it's been supported pretty well throughout that year. However, how much longer is that going to go? But I guess I know that the whole point is this is what is voted on by journalists that are part of the Game Awards committee, right? The judges panel. So this is primarily being voted on by journalists and what they play. And I know so many of them that still play Helldivers, so I get it.
2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky.
Now, I'm not shocked by Fortnite.
2, Marvel
I'm actually kind of surprised with Marvel Rivals. I know that it's played a lot. I know that it is. But it's one of those ones that you never hear anyone talking about, isn't it? Does anyone else get that? Helldivers 2 did come to Xbox this year. That is a good shout. It is technically a new game, so... But that doesn't matter about it being new, really, because the whole point is this is best ongoing game. This is a game that people keep coming back to no matter what. And I don't know about... The reason I balk at Helldivers 2 and Marvel Rivals is because they're so new. Like, of course people are still going back to it. It hasn't run out of shit to do yet. It's like, you know, if I was to use Monster Hunter as an example, Monster Hunter tends to get like updates for a year, maybe 2 years after its original launch, mostly to do with like the expansion that comes afterwards, right? And so I would expect a game to beat 2 years before they should be allowed to be voted on. Does that make sense? Because to me, I'm just like, that's just a year. That's you just playing it. You're not coming back to it. It's because it didn't stop. You know? Whereas, like, you know,
Final Fantasy
XIV, you log in, you do the big update, you leave. You come back when there's a Like a free login weekend. You come back when there's a new a patch gets introduced. You know, you don't. It's not that you're constant. Well, I know a lot of people do constantly play it, but the average human being is returning to it. Right? They're going away and they're coming back to it. Is why
13,
I feel
Fortnite.
this is a weird one. You know, Fortnite, absolutely the same thing. It has seasons, whatever. I know Helldivers has seasons too, so I guess it could live up to it in the
Helldivers
next
2,
couple of years.
Marvel Rivals,
The same with
and
Marvel Rivals. I just feel like they're too new to be considered ongoing, if
No
anything.
Man-
Unless you want to use Ubisoft live service games as an example, in which case, like, being live for a year, fucking well done. And then No Man's Sky is just like this incredible juggernaut that's just like, we bought out a new thing for you. Have fun. You know, they bring out a new thing every 2 years and they're like, go play it. You don't have to pay anything. You just have it. And like, oh, okay, I got this in a sale for £2. Are you sure? Yep. You know? Which is why I always think they should win, to be
Sky.
perfectly
For
honest.
Best mobile game, the nominees are
No. Okay. I wasn't going to say Destiny anyway. Okay. Best mobile, Uma Musume. It's going to be Uma Musume, right? I haven't seen what the nominations are apart from Destiny Rising. It's going to be Uma Musume, right? Well, you can't call the category Best Live Service Game. Why the fuck not? Why can't you call it that? That's exactly what it is, except for No Man's Sky. I didn't even know Destiny Rising existed until today. To be fair, we're not the market, are we? For any of these games that are about to come up, we're not the market. None of us are really into mobile games. Maybe a couple of us play a few here and there, but it's not like our big thing, is it? So,
Destiny Rising,
okay.
Persona 5, the
I didn't know this was out. Interesting. Okay. Who voted for that? Honestly, who's playing this?
Phantom X, Sonic Rumble,
What? Okay, so I know what's winning. What the fuck? Hang on. Go back. What the fuck is that? What is that? What is that? Sonic Rumble. What are you? That's not how you spell Sonic. Sonic Rumble. Video. It's Fall Guys? It's Fall Guys? Oh no. Is it cute though? iOS only? Well, that'll be why I've never heard of it. No, it's on the Google Play Store as well. I've never heard of this. None of this website works. There we go. Oh, it's kind of cute though. It's kind of cute though. I can kind of see the appeal of this one. Okay, I take it back. I've never heard of you. Good on you, Sonic.
Uma Musume, Pretty
Do I need to cut him out saying that? Do I need to take him, like, do I need to cut that out? The way that he said that? Do you want me to keep that as a sound effect forever? Like when Phil says, konnichiwa. Uma Musume. Yeah, exactly. Let's hear him say it again.
Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume, Pretty
Uma Musume. Why are they all so bad at it? It's Uma Musume. Calm down. You don't have to put so much juice on the ooh sound. It's not there.
Derby, and Wuthering Waves.
Did he say... Hang on.
Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume,
Wrong.
Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves.
Did he just call it Wuthering Waves? Did he just call it Wuthering Waves? Say it again, Jeff. I dare you. I dare you. I'm trying to take it back to the perfect millisecond.
And Wuthering Waves.
He says Wuthering. No.
This
No.
Wuthering
No. Stop. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to slow it down. Where is it? Playback. Half.
Mama Sume, Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves.
Tell me that isn't Wuthering Waves. Nice try, Jeff. Nice try. Nice try. You gave it some juice and you were wrong. The more I hear it, the more it sounds right. Oh no.
This year's nominees for Best Art Direction
Okay.
are Clara Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach,
Okay.
Ghost of Yote,
Absolutely.
Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh. Oh. Those last two are some really good ones. So I guess art direction comes down to, it's not just about graphics, is it? It's not just about like what things look like. It's about carrying on an entire theme. Because the only thing that I will say for Expedition 33... Thank you so much, Mitch. Lovely to have you. How are you doing?
Mitcha sent along this message with their 48 months resub.
No, he didn't. You're a liar. Why are you like this? Every fucking time. Thank you so much for the resub, Mitch. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. So what was I saying? It's not you. It's my bad programming. So the only thing I will say with Expedition 33 that I say potentially knocks this is it's Unreal Engine 5 and it kind of just looks like an Unreal Engine 5 game. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, yes, they have this amazing overarching theme throughout the entirety of the game that is like 100% French and nothing wrong with that. And it's wonderful, right? However, I would say like... going through every single environment kind of feels like the same after a little while, even if they are like categorically different. Like if I go through the area with the yellow trees, it's almost exactly the same as the area with the red trees, right? When we go through the underwater area, there's like a seaside cliff that we go to that looks exactly the same. It's that thing where you look at it and you're like, that's an Unreal Engine 5 game. And they even like said during their developer sort of like documentation stuff. What the hell? Why is it a hype train? Why are you like this? Nothing's happened. Why are you late? Thank you, I guess. I'm okay. Thursday, we get the key to the house. That is exciting. That's what the hype train's for.
Choo-choo. The hype train has arrived. Get your bits and subs ready
Do you
to
know
roll.
what, Mitch? I
All
kind
aboard.
of thought you already had the keys. I thought all this time you already had the keys. So congratulations to getting into your house real soon. I'm excited for you. Just my mere presence. Yeah, it's like, it is the hype train now for you being here. It's like how you could easily spot a UE3 game in the past. You can do it with all Unreal Engine games. You just like, you look at it and you're like, I see where those graphic packs came from. And they even said during the Expedition 33 developer diary things that like they did use assets that were pre-made and they did continue to use them, and that's how they save money, right? And like any developer that's worth their salt will do that anyway. So nothing against it, but when I look at it, I'm like, I don't think it's that exciting. But considering the entire fucking game is about painting, it is very funny to me.
Death Stranding 2.
I did not. It's been hell. We were this close to saying fuck it, fuck this shit. Anyway, rant over. I'm sorry you were going through hell, but I'm glad you've got your house. Thank you so much, Michael, for the bits as well. It's the random Twitch hype train that starts randomly out of nowhere. Yeah, I hate this feature. I need to go and turn it off. It's like my least favorite thing for it to do. It's all like, I'm gonna make a hype train happen, and then nobody joins in. There's nothing more depressing. So thank you, Michael, for joining in. Okay, so opinions on Death Stranding 2. I can't really say much about it. I didn't play Death Stranding 1. I haven't played Death Stranding 2. So I have no personal opinion about its art direction specifically. However, fuck me, that game is pretty. Like, fuck me, that game is pretty. It is wild how gorgeous that game looks at all times. Whenever I've seen anyone playing it, I'm like, damn, that sure is Death Stranding. And again, it has its own look, but it's not Unreal Engine 5, and you can tell it's not Unreal Engine 5, which means something else is going on with it. It does have a realistic juice to it that I actually kind of like, but again, haven't played it. I started to play DS1 and it bored me, but it did look pretty. Yeah, it's gorgeous, but boring.
On the beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades.
So Ghost of Yote Tsushima, it is on the Horizon engine, yeah, and Horizon, like, I think is a gorgeous looking game as well. Like, I'm never going to take any points away from it. I think Horizon looks great. I just think it's boring.
33, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Ghost of...
So Ghost of Yote has a very similar sort of, well, no, it doesn't have a similar style. It has... it uses a lot of pull from art direction from famous Japanese samurai movies. I can't remember the style it is. It's a specific director was used for the Tsushima one, you know, the one where it's all in black and white, and then like for dramatics, like red is shown when somebody bleeds, that kind of thing. I've forgotten what his fucking name is though. I feel like an asshole for it. But Ghost of Yote does that even more. It uses a lot more of the painterly styles. It uses a lot of other Japanese samurai movie directors, like stylings in its work as well. And once again, I think they managed to pull off something that is also beautiful to look at. Not just because it's like realistic, and not because like specifically because it's realistic. It's because of the way they treat lighting in it. It's the way that they treat what's even the word, the composition of a scene, that kind of thing, which I think Silent Hill F should get something for that as well, but it wasn't in the list for this, and I understand that because like you vote for what you vote for. But the composition in that game is astounding, and I think Ghost of Yote probably has a lot of that as well. However, I haven't seen any of it firsthand because I haven't watched anyone playing it, because I do intend to play it in the future when it comes to PC.
Of Yote, Hades 2.
Can't say anything wrong about this. I feel like this one's going to win. Like, you see Hades, you know it's Hades, right?
The hype train has pulled into
Thank
the
you,
station.
Isaac.
Thanks to everyone that joined in and came along for the ride.
Thank you, Isaac. That's very kind of you. Hades 2, another astounding looking game, absolutely gorgeous art style. I really wish that the animators that did the trailer, I want them to just make Hades the TV show, because I'm never going to play this game. It's a roguelike and it's hard as shit, and those are two things that I don't enjoy. And I'm just like, yeah, you're welcome, Isaac. And I think it is another one of those stunning games. It really stands out visually. It has a continuing theme and styling throughout it that is consistent and beautiful to look at. And when it's in motion as well, that's like a really difficult thing to sort of keep like held in. And so the next one,
And Hollow Knight Silksong.
I think actually falls under the same kind of thing. Like when you see Hollow Knight, you know it's Hollow Knight. When you see Silksong, you know it's part of the Hollow Knight universe. I could argue that maybe I won't notice the difference between the two because I don't know the areas in the game. However, if you play it, you probably do. And it's very distinct and it's gorgeous to look at when it's in motion. When I see someone who's super good at the game playing the game, it's one of the most beautiful things. And I feel like doing that in 2D is incredibly difficult when it's like just like a straight on the, like fully 2D. It's just you're moving a Metroidvania cartoon, and it's, I don't know how you translate that in a way that still comes comes across as like stunning to look at and easy to read as well. Like having such a limited color palette as well is always an incredible power move, because it helps you translate things faster when things are in motion. When it is going too quickly, you're like, right, I know that Hornet I think is her name. You know, I see the red cape, right? So I know where she is on the screen, even if I'm not looking directly at her. And you can see enemies on the screen because they have something else that's unique and easy to see at a glance. So it does make sense. It translates even in fast motion, the same way Hades does, although Hades has a lot more color going on it, so it's a lot more likely to blend together, which is part of its difficulty. But Hollow Knight's got this beauty in its simplicity.
For Best Score in Music, leveled up by Spotify, the nominees are Christopher Larkin for Hollow Knight Silksong,
Fair.
Darren Korb for Hades 2,
Fair.
Lorian Testov for
Yes!
Obscure Expedition 33, Toma Otoa for Ghost of Yote,
I don't know.
and Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell for Death Stranding 2 On the Beach.
I don't know that one
The
as
best
well. Okay, so I can't really say much. I don't. Music isn't like one of my strong suits at all. I don't know music incredibly well. However, I have listened to the music for Hollow Knight. I have listened to it for Expedition 33. I have listened to it for Hades, and I'm like, yeah, bangers. But the other two, I just don't know. Okay, so I can't really. There's not a lot I can go on there, but. As I only played Expedition 33, I'm probably going to go for that purely for... Shit, what's the name of the song? It's one of the... It's got a French name. Hang on. What's the one I'm thinking of? Spotify. Help. No, not Bury the Light. For God's sake. Search. Which one was it? Fuck, it didn't save it on my mobile. I don't remember. It's the one of the final battle themes. I really loved it.
Audio design nominees are Battlefield 6, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, and Silent Hill F.
Oh! So I wasn't that interested in this one because audio design like is important, obviously, because it makes you live in a game. But like again, something that I'm not like, it's not my strong suit. I hear Battlefield 6 is like incredibly lively in a way that feels like realistic. But again, I haven't played it, and I don't have specialist earphones anyway to enjoy that kind of thing, even if I was playing it.
Clair Obscur Expedition.
I would say Clair Obscur Expedition 33's sound design is very deliberate. But I don't know that there's anything in particular that I could call out from it that I'm like, yeah, that's uniquely yours. It just sounds good. Because this isn't about music. This is about everything as a package, right? So it'll be like sound effects and the way stuff is delivered to you to evoke something. So I don't know. I guess like there is a lot of stuff that's set around the coast and you can feel it, but I don't know, man. I don't know about that one.
Death Stranding 2 On the Beach.
No, nothing to say. Nothing to say.
Silent Hill F.
This one should win. Jeff, you moved too quickly. This one should win. Like, watching a Logicoma play that is always play a horror game in general is always a fun thing because a Logicoma doesn't get scared, but it means you get to like enjoy what is around you a lot more. You can get immersed in it when you're watching somebody else not being scared by a horror game, and like every scene you move into has its own unique feel in that game, and every area is just like you feel like you're there. You genuinely feel like you're there. It's so engulfing in a beautiful way that you just like, it's not just to do with like all the traditional Japanese music that's built into it. It's about the way that like even the weather feels encroaching on you in it, and the way that it sort of It brings life to migraines even. It gives migraines its own sound in that game too. And when you hear it coming, you're like, oh shit, you know what's coming. And that can that really makes you either, like in my case, panic or go, oh, let's get ready. It's battle time or something. And it just, I think its sound design is one of the best things, but I do think its visuals are incredible as well.
Best Adaptation was added to the Game Awards in 2022 to recognize an outstanding show, movie, or other creative work inspired by and based on an established video game world. Here are this year's nominees for Best Adaptation. A Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell Deathwatch, The Last of Us Season...
Wait. What the fuck did you just...
Movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell...
What? What? They bought out Splinter Cell things? When did that happen? Why am I not aware of this? I don't watch TV, I understand, but when did this happen? Do I need to look this up as well? Sam Fisher has a new gig. What the hell? That can't be right. Splinter Cell Deathwatch. When did this happen? And why is no one talking about it? 86 on Rotten Tomatoes. Splinter Cell Deathwatch. What's that? Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? It's an adult animated espionage action television series created by Derek Kolstad and directed by Sun Creature Studio. Co-founder Guillaume Doucet. Sorry, maybe. I don't know how to say that name. Based on the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell video game franchise, the series is produced by Ubisoft Film and Television. They didn't tell anyone. I don't know if you can see this. If I put this up on my camera. There's something funny about saying, oh, it's too bright. Come on. You can see this. I know you can see this. It's not going to do it, is it? Aha! Voices of Liev Schreiber and Kirby. I didn't know Kirby did voice acting. Apparently this is a Netflix show. I've never heard of this. When did this come out? It came out in October. It came out a month ago. That shouldn't be allowed on here. Kirby says hi. This is a month ago. Fuck off. I've never heard about this. I listened to 17 different Look, I'm going to show you. This is upsetting. This is how many podcasts I listen to. Nearly all of them are video game podcasts. Not one of them has spoken about this. Not a single one. Can't be saying that there's a fucking Splinter Cell animated show out in 2025. Don't lie.
Cell Deathwatch, The Last of Us Season 2, and Until Dawn.
I forgot about Until Dawn. I have no leg to stand on with any of these. A, I don't watch TV, and B, I definitely haven't watched any of these. So...
Adaptation. A Minecraft movie.
What's that? I thought this was like universally panned. I thought this was a very much disliked film. Like, it sure is a movie that someone makes references. Yeah, why isn't Twisted Metal in it, which is universally liked? No Sonic 3. So, when did Sonic 3 come out? Because that is weird. Yeah, you gotta remember that these are often voted on by this is voted on by primarily video game journalists. So this is what they went to see. December last year. That's why it hasn't been voted for. Even though it is absolutely allowed to be voted for this year, it's too long ago. It will lose based on recency bias and nothing else. Nobody will think about it because they'll be like, what came out this year? That's what happens. So that'll be why. I had a feeling, I couldn't remember if it was December or January, but yeah, that'll be exactly why. People just won't have thought about it. They'll be like, what did we watch this year? Oh, my kids made me go to watch Minecraft. or I sat my kids down to watch Minecraft and they enjoyed it. This is why this is on here.
Devil May Cry.
That might be just because it's good. I don't know. I didn't watch it in the end.
Splinter Cell Death
I don't know why this is here.
Watch. The Last of Us.
I totally understand why this is here, because even though people didn't like the most recent series, it is like generally liked by the globe over. This might even be the one that the public would be able to vote the most on.
Season 2 and Until Dawn.
And this one I forgot existed. When did that come out? Can't wait for Jack Black to show up at Game Awards and say chicken jockey and everyone will make a mess live. Gonna be so hype. Yeah, it's gonna be wonderful, like him ruining Jeff's show just for a bit. I'll love it. So this one came out in April. Okay, I forgot. Apparently it was all right. I don't know.
For Best Narrative, the outstanding nominees are Claire Obscure, Expedition 33.
Okay.
Death Stranding 2, On
Maybe.
the Beach, Ghost of Yote.
Maybe. I'm starting to see
Deliverance 2, and
This is not one I expected to see anywhere. I thought this was going to get snubbed everywhere. So this is actually fucking fair play to him on this one.
Silent Hill F.
Oh. Oh. That's delicious. Why did they get rid of Silent Hill's logo so fucking fast? Calm down, Jeff. You don't need to go this quickly. So the Minecraft movie made 957 million. Very popular movie. I imagine Sonic still made more than that. Maybe. Because people be mad about Sonic, but people be mad about Minecraft as well. Okay. Man, I really like the story in Silent Hill. I really liked the story in Silent Hill. But I love Expedition 33. A lot hate watched it, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. Like, when we watch it, we'll be doing it because it'll be a laugh, you know? When we do get around to it. Oh, this is actually kind of tough. 492 million for Sonic, so not even half. But either way, still did very good. But yeah, Minecraft is crazy popular. Everyone's played it at some point or another. Even I've played it and I don't like it. So this is tough.
Are Claire Obscure.
This made me cry. This made me cry several times. And I know that doesn't mean that it's like the best in the world, because like it doesn't take a lot to get me to cry, especially when it's about best friends dying. There's something about that. It's just like it fucks me up. And the way that you're like slowly watching a family being pulled apart in it is just like incredibly heart-wrenching, and I don't think anyone's delivered a story quite like this one, about where essentially it's I mean, I could argue Hades 2 is specifically about the gods fighting each other, because it's about family fighting each other, right? And that's what's happening in Expedition 33, is it's a family feud. But the way it's delivered is such a unique package.
Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2.
The narrative was that bad. I can't say anything about Death Stranding. I am not a personal fan of Kojima's writing style. I don't like... I like the stories that he's able to tell. I don't necessarily enjoy the way they're delivered, but that's nothing to do with narrative, is it? Like, technically what his games are about are usually about the people involved in an overarching thing that they don't actually have any control over, and that's actually kind of fascinating. But I haven't played Death Stranding. Again, I can't say anything about the Ghost games because I haven't gotten around to them. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a really interesting one. I didn't get to watch too much of this being played in the end, because I was like, I might play this one. Because I liked the first one. I might play this one. So I can't say anything on the story in this one, but I know that it's like one of those expansive ones where like a lot of stuff can change. So, and I like those.
Come Deliverance 2 and Silent Hill F.
However, this this is telling a story that hasn't really been told an awful lot, especially in video games, because it's about a very specific era in Japan and how a teenage girl's fears manifest in the ways that in a Silent Hill game that brings it to life. And the way it talks about, you know, the way tradition can hold you down based on your gender alone. I think that's a story that like a Japanese studio is incredibly brave to make, because it's like a vision at their own culture and seeing the problems that were there and calling it out, essentially, which you don't really see an awful lot of people doing with video games, let alone with horror. So, or at least, well, no, I guess horror does actually pick on that kind of thing a lot more. But it was interesting to see see a horror through a teenager's eyes, and it not being all about like, it wasn't all just jump scares, right? It was about like her fear of not having any friends that understood her fear that having to become married would change her inherently like it did to her sister. It was her fears about growing up. It was her fears about like not being a child anymore. And I thought that was incredibly powerful. And I guess because like I felt so akin to her, it actually pulled on my heartstrings a lot more. So I could see me, even though I loved Expedition 33 like intensely, I think that this one might pull it for me. Just because I felt so much more akin to what she was going through, right? Like, even though I've seen death in my life, and I've seen betrayal, and I've seen families fall apart, that kind of thing, and Expedition 33 does a really good job of showing those things. Like Silent Hill does it it does the same thing but with horror, and I think that's really a really interesting lens.
Best Community Support celebrates game developers who continually and transparently engage, support, and respond to their players. This year's nominees are Baldur's Gate 3,
okay,
Final Fantasy 14,
yes,
Fortnite, Helldivers 2,
okay,
and No Man's Sky.
It's no, we've had this category. Am I crazy? We had this category. I already... You can't have best ongoing game twice.
Baldur's Gate.
I have experience of two of these communities, all right? I have Baldur's Gate 3 and Final Fantasy 14. Like, constantly, like, people are like, please come and play Final Fantasy. It's just a really good time. I'll show you how to get things done. You don't have to go it alone. Here's this, and that to make it easier. You know, it's one of those just super nice communities. Final Fantasy 14 wins because glamour changes. That's nothing to do with community support, though. Unless you consider modding to be community support, which I guess could fall in with it. Fortnite. What's the community like in Fortnite? Like, genuinely, does any of us know? I just feel like this one's poorly placed. I don't know anyone that cares, like, in a way, about Fortnite. I feel like Fortnite is just like the place that your mates all hang out in, right? It's not even really about, like, specifically it's not that the community is keeping you there, right? Surely it's because your mates happen to be there. I haven't played Fortnite in years. Yeah, I haven't either. I don't. Okay. Did I mute it? I did.
Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2.
This one I can get because, like, the community is funny. The community is funny. It's like they're all, like, in on the joke that, like, the game is about fascism, technically. but the funniest version of fascism, where it's like, yeah, fuck it, let's go, Earth, kill the bugs, and it's kind of silly and inherently built into how the community talk to each other and react with each other, and it's actually oddly friendly.
And No Man's Sky.
And that one, like, yeah, just people who are into No Man's Sky want you to love No Man's Sky. They will do anything to make it so that you have a great time in No Man's Sky. Managed democracy, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. that's a friendly word, isn't it? Managed democracy.
Your nominees for Games for Impact are...
No, he's done it again. He's done it again. He just did an explainer for a couple of categories to make it a bit more clear what they're about. However, he does not explain what he means by Games for Impact. So what does this mean in Jeff's eyes compared to anyone else's? Like, the idea is Games for Impact is essentially games for minorities, games that have a story to tell, that are about real world conflict, usually is what it's about. Consume Me is actually one of the ones that I'd probably vote for. I don't know if any of you played it, but I played the demo of this one. And again, it did a fantastic view of what it's like to grow up as a teenager who is either feminine presenting or grew up as brought up female. And especially, I didn't grow up with an Asian mother. I don't have an Asian family, but the way it's telling the story is almost stereotypically Asian girl in an Asian home. It borderlined on the comedic, and it is comedic. The whole thing is funny, but it is all based around eating disorder. Essentially, that's what the whole game is about. It's about eating disorder and about life management built around that. And I really enjoyed it, and I loved the presentation because it was done in such a silly fashion, but it was still able to get across, this is unhealthy, this is good, this is not good for you, and it doesn't portray it in a funny light. It just makes it a bit more sort of palatable as a way to introduce that it is problematic, and it's really interesting and just a really goofy style to it.
Despelote.
Another one I never got around to. This game is only 2 hours long. It's about football. It's about specifically football in... It's not Chile, is it? It's... Hang on. Because I did look into this one, and I kept meaning to play it. Despelote. First-person adventure video game that was released in May. A slice of life set in Quito or Quito. I'm sorry if I'm saying your town name wrong. During Ecuador's qualification of the 2002 FIFA World Cup. So this was a very specific moment in time, and the whole game is just about like what it was like to be an Ecuadorian person watching Ecuador getting up to like pretty high up in the FIFA World Cup that year, and when they were like considered like that they would be bottom of the leagues and that they would never get through, that kind of thing. And it shows the story of how like it raises the spirits of everybody in your town, how suddenly everybody is into football because it's important that the world is talking about their country all of a sudden. And it's just like a really it's pronounced Quito, is it? Quito. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Quito, thank you. I just thought it was like a really nice way, a nice piece of history to be brought into a video game. And like I said, it's only a couple hours long. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, if you want to see a piece of football history through the eyes of people who grew up during that time and how important that moment was to them as a child and as a community group, I fully recommend checking this one out. I think it's really cool.
Lost Records Bloom and Rage, South...
Did anyone else forget that came out this year?
Consume Me, Despelote, Lost Records Bloom and Rage.
That game came and went, didn't it? It was one of those ones that it was a two-parter, wasn't it? And I'm not gonna lie, nearly everyone I spoke to said that it didn't do anything interesting. So it's kind of interesting that it's on this stage.
South of Midnight.
This one's an interesting one. I did play this one. This one's I actually played, and again, it was another game that it was it's just a story that isn't being told. It's about black history, which you don't really get an awful lot of that in video games. You usually just get the cool black character with the afro and an attitude problem all the time in video games. Is pretty common. South of Midnight, had some of that, but it was like it was kind of not the point. It was, it was about like culture more than it was about like history or anything, although history was a big piece of it as well, and showing like the blurred lines between voodoo and voodoo, and how it was treated and how it's portrayed and the way they did the storytelling, and it was just like really. It's such a shame that I ended up not enjoying that game that much, because the game felt like it was missing something, because the story it had to tell was really interesting. It was just the way that you had to play through it was really dull. And it's such a shame because annoyingly I've forgotten the name of the main character, but I really liked her. I thought she was a really great character, and I would like to see more characters like her in future games. I would love to see more cultural history from places that I'm not as attuned with, as a white woman from England. We don't have an awful lot of crossover with families from the Deep South, especially black families from the Deep South, right? The closest I got is like I grew up with a neighbor who was from Belize, right? And her culture was entirely different to us, and she was always fantastic to us. I loved hanging out with her, and like her son and my brother were like best friends, but that's the closest we ever really got. And like I grew up with a couple of kids from, I couldn't tell you what their culture was. I just knew that they weren't English, and we just don't see that an awful lot. And I would love to see more video games explore these cultures, explore these things that are not told as often, especially in primarily white society. And I thought it was a really neat idea. I just wish they'd executed on the game itself an awful lot. So I could see this one like potentially getting something.
And
stereotypical Killmonger haircut, man, fuck that shit. Yeah, basically it's the same thing over and over again. You're just gonna have a black character with an afro and an attitude problem in nearly everything, and it's just like, it's so boring because it's just used time and time again, especially if something is set in the 70s. It's like it's the same every single 60s or 70s, same thing every single time. They're usually a cop as well, which is just equally shit. I'm bored.
Wonderstop. In the category of best multi...
Heads up, I was thinking about streaming Wonderstop finally. I know I bought it in like February, but I never got around to playing it. I was thinking about streaming it after we're done with Winterborough, just as a heads up on that. And I think that one's an interesting one, and that I'm interested in that one. Not because I'm going to play it, but because it's specifically about burnout. It's a game about burnout, about depression, and about like not being able to do the things that you used to be able to do because you're not well and you need rest. The whole game is about rest and learning to rest. And I think there's a really brilliant story to tell. I hear that it's not handled in the best way necessarily, or not in an interesting way. However, I kind of like the idea of playing a chill game about making tea.
Player. The nominees are Arc Raiders.
No. You know why? The AI. Just anything to do. Battlefield has that same shit. Like, fuck off.
Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Rain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Split Fiction.
Okay. I figured Split Fiction was going to show up in there. What games can you play together? Well, Joseph Fares bought something out this year, and then there were these other things. So, I'm not going to talk about Arc Raiders. I don't need to discuss, like, my opinions on using actors and then trying to make it sound better by saying we got their permission so that we didn't have to use their voice, like, so that we could use their voice in perpetuity. Just because you have permission doesn't make it okay. It just makes it look okay. Fuck you. Pay your actors, cheap ass. Same with Battlefield. They're using artwork and it's disgusting.
Elden Ring Night Rain.
Elden Ring Night Rain. So yeah, so Carla thinks Peak might take it. And I could agree if it weren't for the fact that the games that Peak are very streamer baity. And that they come and they go so quickly. Was it Call of Duty did it? Was it not Battlefield? I might have gotten that wrong. In which case, I will take that back. If it wasn't Battlefield, if it is Call of Duty, I apologize. However, if it's both of them, fuck them both. So if it's Call of Duty, you can fuck off anyway, generally speaking. But I thought it was Battlefield. Maybe I got it mixed up, so apologies. Either way, Black Ops 7 for sure does. I know Call of Duty did. Yeah. Oh, that was the Ghibli stuff? Okay, I take it back. It's not Battlefield. Okay, Battlefield, you know, whatever. If it doesn't have any AI shit in it. If it does, it can stay in the bin. Elden Ring, I think is super popular. However, I still think it's niche enough in its popularity that it could still get beaten by Peak, even though I think Peak is one of those... It's like, it's come and it's gone. Games like Peak are really just for streamers. Yeah, this is what I mean about Peak is like, I'm not saying that normal people don't play it. Obviously they do. However, it is streamer bait in that people watch other people playing it because they want to see streamers having arguments, essentially. That's what it is. And people do play them, but they play them like obsessively for like a week and then drop off intensely. Whereas Night Rain, I feel like people who like Night Rain are consistently keeping up with it every now and then. They'll wait for like a new boss to be introduced or a new area or like a rotation of some kind to happen with what characters you can do or builds, that kind of thing. So like the freaks, basically, the ones that love to be punished and also like playing with their friends could clinch it on this one, just because Peak is like, people were talking about Peak 3 weeks ago. They're not anymore, right? Is what I mean.
Peak and Split Fiction.
And Split Fiction, it gets in there because it's Joseph Fares. I don't have an opinion on it because I didn't play it.
Best Independent Game celebrates games with a high degree of risk tolerance, produced outside the traditional publisher system.
So he's explaining this, but he doesn't explain. Do you see what I mean about like how incongruous everything is? It's like he's like, yeah, let me tell you about what an indie game is, but I'm not going to explain games for impact. Twat.
Nominees are Absolem, Ball
Who? That's mean. I'll let him carry on.
Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong.
That's a lot of games. Why are you so fast? Calm down. That is so many. See, I would say Expedition 33 because that's the one I enjoyed. However, I think the internet is going to vote for Silksong. Do we not? I feel like this is like a one and you don't. There's no contest because people were waiting for 7 years for this. It's Ball Pit. Ball Pit is perfectly okay. I think it's one of those. Ball Pit is okay. It's fine. You know, I think it's just there because someone spoke about it, right?
The traditional publisher system. Those nominees are Absolem.
This one is extremely recent, so I don't actually know an awful lot about this one. I know its name and I know people are playing it, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about it.
Ball Pit.
Again, it's a Devolver game, so of course people are talking about it. It's like, oh, it's that really addictive game that's kind of like Arkanoid, but also a bit of Vampire Survivors-ish feel to it, but with base building in it. And I'm like, it's just got one too many things going on. I don't think people raved for it the way I thought they were going to.
Blueprints.
Obviously, everyone was talking about Blueprints at the start of the year. No one would stop talking about it. In fact, it was one of the games this year that I think people have actually spoken about the most. But once it died, it died. You know, no one's talking about it now, and I think it's because potentially people who did play it for multiple hundreds of hours did end up souring on it over time because it doesn't respect your time, because it is run based in a way that it's like you could just do several runs in a row and get nothing out of it, even though you know what the solution is. You just need the correct puzzle piece to be able to move forward, and it's not giving it to you, and I think that soured a lot of people on it.
Claire Obscure Expedition
I don't need to talk about this one.
33.
You know my opinions on it. I think it's a wonderful game and I think it's incredible, but this is a bit of a banger year for indies, and Hades 2
and Hollow Knight
Silksong are really tough to go up against when so many people wanted both of those games.
Silksong. Best debut indie game recognizes a development team that hasn't won a game award before. In fact, these teams published their first game this year. The nominees are Blueprints, Claire Obscure Expedition 33,
it might win this one,
Despelote, Dispatch, and Megabonk.
Oh, wait, hang on. Shit, if Megabonk's in there, they could all be fucked. Am I crazy for thinking that? That could mess some people over. You didn't expect it, neither did I. But it did come out this year, and it is the first thing they've put out, you know? Fuck. Did Vampire Survivors win Best Debut? Was that even a category the year the Vampire Survivors came out? Shit. I was gonna say Expedition 33 probably wins that one, but now that I know that Megabonk is in it, fuck. Don't get me wrong. People are talking about Dispatch. People are really in love with Dispatch, and I will be playing it eventually. But as popular as this currently is, and obviously recency bias does win people over, I think Megabonk might win that because of its recency bias.
And Megabonk. For Best VR AR.
I also appreciate the way he said it, by the way.
Game, the nominees are Alien Rogue Incursion.
This is going to be another one of those categories where I'm like, don't lie. That's not a thing that came out.
Second Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR,
sure.
And Midnight Walk.
Oh, I know about that one. I actually know about this one. Cool. Okay. That one was really neat. It was creepy. I don't know what any of these other ones are. I don't even know. Alien Rogue Incursion. Should we look these up? Alien Rogue Incursion. Is it just Alien Isolation, but in VR? Because if they didn't do that, they missed a beat. Really? I have to give you my... Look! The fucking age-gating adverts now. Ridiculous. I'm not going to tell you my birthday. Fuck off. Vampire Survivors was nominated for Best Indie Debut, and it lost to Stray. Oh, it was the year Stray came out. Oh, it got fucked. Absolutely fucked. Stray was great, don't get me wrong, but I thought everybody loved Vampire Survivors. Right, what was this? Alien Incursion? VR, yeah. Should we take a look? When did that come out? 10 months ago. Can I have a trailer that isn't by IGN? Sure. What is it? Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, it sure looks like Alien Isolation, but in VR, which they should just do. It's got that classic VR look of everything being a little wobbly. could play this one. I could see me playing this one. It would be very funny. I wonder if I'll quit at the last stage like I did in Isolation. Just be like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. When we get to this bit, just be like, nah, I'm alright, thanks. Okay. Anyone else feel like the aliens stand too much like people? The way it just sort of... Hang on. Where is it? The way he's just standing there when they're checking their rifle. I mean, even there, but... Right, so alien, right? Turn around. It's just a dude. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's all really dark, but that's just a dude. That's just Steve. Why are you so aggressive? And then again with this queen, which is a very tiny queen, by the way. Roger, exactly. Look at that. The way they're standing, it's just a guy. I know a lot of them do just stand like that, and that is down to the fact that it is just a dude in a suit, but I don't know. There's something about that in VR that I feel like it makes it less threatening. It's just like, yeah, that sure is just a guy. I don't know. However, I know damn well that if I play it, I'll cry. So it'll do its job, right? But it's Steve the Xenomorph, the literal Steve. He's the best one. He only had 3 days until retirement.
Arcan Age.
Right, what's that? What the fuck is that? I'm gonna look up all of these because I don't know what any of them are. That's not how you type. Reveal trailer. No, I want, yeah, give us the launch trailer. Body language is important even for aliens, right? Oh, is it a puzzle game? If it's full of peace, why are there so many battle robots? I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't look that great. I know this is the PlayStation version, so it's probably the least good version, but I don't know, man. This don't look good. Cool. Okay. Should we try another one? Should we try a better one? They always look so silly. They do. It's such an unavoidable thing. All right. Should we watch the... Should we watch the meta version to see if it's any different? Would that be that one? No, it still looks goofy. It's like... And I don't mean this in like a negative way because I actually miss that games kind of look like this. It's like somebody went to the early Xbox pile of experimental action games and they were like, but what if we made this in VR? What if we just ported it? Do you know what I mean by that? It's the color palette more than anything else. I know Xbox is obviously green, but it's the way the textures are done and how everything is so loud in a way that it's hard to tell what you're looking at all times. It's very noisy. And a lot of older games suffered from this because they were like, get as many graphics in the screen as possible. You know, like this gun, it's got so many fucking points on it and then a bunch of lights on it. And then it's like, you know, sometimes you might be able to see how much ammo you have. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a very specific era of look that you have chosen here. And it's not looking great. Shit. All right, Ghost Town. Let's have a look at Ghost Town. I wasn't meant to close that down. That was my mistake. Ghost Town VR trailer. Do the game trailers one. Noble Games. I'm just as far into the word outro video. I had it on before I went live.
Edith, I didn't think you'd be back for a few more days. Sorry about the mess. It'll be worth it though, I promise.
Okay, that was nicely animated.
You should have seen it. Something weird is going on, and Adam is involved.
Adam is involved. Bioshock.
Alright. Okay, so what now?
Shit, man, that looks like England. Okay, this one might actually be neat.
Yeah.
So we thinking maybe like a sort of like a point and click adventure
Adam?
with a horror
Be careful,
spin.
Edith.
This is getting weird.
Okay, this one looks kind of neat.
I didn't know.
I'll get you out of this. Somehow.
Okay. Yeah, this looks all right actually. I could go and check this out when the Steam VR comes out, and it costs $1,000. That one looks okay.
Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool
We don't need to look at that.
VR, and the Midnight Walk.
And I'll show you what the Midnight Walk is, because that one was actually pretty neat as well. It had a really distinct art style, this one. It's got a little freak, and you know what I think about little freaks. I love this guy. Look at him. Bunch of little weirdos.
The waters dried up, birds went quiet, and the dark itself seeped unchecked
Look at it.
to the work table. The night that followed would be long. As long as the midnight walk.
Experience a tale, handcrafted from clay.
Righteous, but the wicked, the flame burns with a passion.
It's just like a little horror game in VR. But it's got such a nice, unique art style. And it suits the animation limitations that there still is in VR. Like, because it runs at such a low frame rate already, it doesn't need to keep up with, like, you know, the 120 plus that you need for VR to not make you sick. So
In the dark and over Moon Mountain.
So its visuals actually sort of match the platform it's being made for. And for anyone interested in it, from the look of it, I'm pretty sure you don't have to have VR to play it. I think you can play it on both, just like VR and normal.
All it needs is a little spark. I get what I need.
The sun away.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain. It doesn't say it there though. But I'm pretty certain this is one of the ones that you can play it on either, which is just, and I think it looks great. I think it looks really neat. We should play it someday. Anyway,
For
we're 4 minutes in. I've been streaming for 2 hours.
Content Creator of the Year, the nominees are
Oh, oh! I wasn't expecting this to be here. Iron Mouse, Kaisenat. PSVR 2 optional, yeah. Good. I'm glad I got it right. Iron Mouse, Kai Cenat. Trying to think who an up-and-comer was this year. Not Ibai. There was another one. Fuck, I don't know.
Cadril, Kai
Fucking... Immediately, Cadril. That's the one.
Cenat, Moist Critical,
Oh shit! Okay. I didn't think Charlie would get on here.
Sakura Miko,
I should have predicted this. I should have predicted it. I should have known. Why didn't I think of Sakura Miko? Okay.
and The Burnt Peanut.
So no Iron Mouse. Interesting. Good call on Burnt Peanut though. Isn't he in the VTuber category on the streamer awards? Insert moist woo meme. I don't know what that is. I don't know enough about Charlie. I only watch like 2 of his videos a year. Wow, boomer. I'm sorry. I know who the Burnt Peanut is. You can't call me a boomer. It's nothing to do with the fact that I keep up with streamer news, kind of. I should have known Sakura Miko should have been in this, though.
Sakura
So let's go.
Cadril, Kai Cenat, Moist Critical,
Hmm.
Sakura Miko,
Hmm.
and The Burnt Peanut.
Oh god, this could go so many ways because the normies will want to. There's a mean way to put it, but the normies will want to go for Kai, right? Because of all the celebrities and the Mafia-thon that he did this year. But then the weebs will want Sakura Miko. But Charlie's got a lot of pull. So a lot more normies could go for that. You know? Because he talks about like streamer news, right? He well, not even just streamer, creator, drama, and people love that shit, right? And they like having his opinion on things, and he's on balance, like probably one of the better creators that's in the drama sort of area of the internet, because he doesn't seem to be a dirtbag. He's just like, people are interested in it and I know what I'm talking about, you know? Interesting. This is a good category this year. I like this. Okay.
Part of the Game Awards is looking forward to what's next.
Yeah.
And don't worry.
So the
we'll have
adverts are
lots of
for.
games to announce for you on December 11th.
Can't wait
But
for the
what's
adverts.
most anticipated upcoming game? Here are the nominees based on currently announced titles. 007 First Light.
No one's anticipating this. What are you talking about? No one cares about First Light. Fuck off. I know that we have a smaller community here, so I'm not expecting everybody to be into something, right? But I've not seen any buzz on this whatsoever. Apart from Flower, maybe? Apart from Floral Reverie? I was just like, are you sure? Is this GoldenEye 2? No, not even remotely. You just want my Hitman co-op, exactly. So it's 007 Hitman is what it is for anyone who doesn't know what this is. And like, I know that there is a very good market for that, and I think that is the perfect license for the makers of Hitman, but I don't know anyone that's excited about this.
Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, no contest. Why are you even having a contest when Grand Theft Auto is coming out? This should be the only thing in there.
6, Marvel's Wolverine,
Okay.
Resident Evil Requiem,
Ooh.
and The Witcher 4.
That's not coming out. Don't lie to me. That's not coming out next year. What the fuck are you talking about? Who voted for this? They should be embarrassed. No, there's no way. There's no fucking way. Hang on. I could have said Elder Scrolls 6, Witcher 4, not Wither. Witcher 4 release date ? Everything we know so far isn't a very good sign, is it? Do 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 do. While we look set to be in for quite the wait until the next Witcher game arrives, thanks to the interviews with CD Projekt Red, blah, 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 blah. There's already some very interesting details. Nothing. They've never mentioned it. GTA could be delayed until 2027. You're not wrong, and I fully believe that will happen. Witcher 4 has never it has not had a release date even whispered about. There's no way. Let me go and have a look at its own website. I'm sorry that my nose is all stuffy today. I haven't been anywhere, so I have no idea why it's doing that. So my internet's being rubbish today. I think Jeff has killed everything. Oh, there we go. Unreal Engine 5. I'm aware of that. I do not want to subscribe to the email thing. No, get out. Leave. Any details? No. Nothing. No. That's not coming out. That's not coming out next year. So the only thing, man, but so this is the thing, is even if GTA gets cancelled out of next year, that doesn't matter because these votes are happening this month, right? So GTA is going to win this one because even the normies, all the normies and all the gamers will be playing GTA 6. I'm not one of them, but everyone's going to be voting for this one.
Auto 6, Marvel's Wolf.
But the closest second... Side thing, didn't realize Desert Bus was happening. Doesn't it happen this time of year every year? Wolverine, but
Resident Evil.
People are really excited for Resident Evil this year. So if I was going to go for like a second and third, I think Resident Evil would be second. Now, I could be biased because obviously this is a community that is like a bunch of people play Resident Evil in this community or the expanded community. And I know a lot of them are very excited to play this one. And I know a lot of journalists are very excited to play this one. Whereas Wolverine, I feel like it hasn't had enough being said about it yet for people to be excited for it yet. If that makes sense. Like, I think it looks really cool. But it's PlayStation, so I'm not going to play it. But I will be very excited to watch other people to play, play the new Resident Evil.
Requiem and The Witcher 4.
But this is a lie. This is not coming out.
The best action-adventure game nominees are Death Stranding 2 On the Beach,
Okay.
Ghost of Yote, Hollow Knight Silk.
Starting to see a pattern here. It looks cool, Wolverine. I can't wait for it to be cheap or given on PS Plus. Absolutely. Just wait like 3 years and you'll get it on PS Plus.
Song, Indiana Jones and the Great
Ooh,
Circle,
interesting.
and Split Fiction.
One of these things is not like the other. That's a good list. So we're getting down to the categories now, the game categories. So the genre story. I hate this category because everything can go in here. Everything is an action adventure these days.
Death Stranding 2 On the
This is an interesting one for Death Stranding, however, because what makes this category stand out in specifics is like its focus is the action part, right? It's an adventure. Don't get me wrong, it's an adventure, but it's specifically down to the action side of things. And I'm sorry, but nobody's coming out of Death Stranding talking about how good the combat is. No one's enjoying it. In fact, most people avoid it in both of them, even though it is improved in Death Stranding 2. So why is this here? There's so many other things in this category already. Did this need to be here? Yeah, exactly. Death Stranding's combat is kind of like it doesn't offer anything, and it has no consequence to your progression in any way apart from the boss fights, you know, which I'd argue is technically what all of Kojima's games are. But I don't understand. Yeah, it doesn't hold water here.
Beach, Ghost of Yote.
Because this is a samurai game. You know, it's in there immediately. Like that lady got a sword. That lady got a sword. This is an action game. Totally makes sense. DS1 was nominated for this category, even though nobody liked the combat in it. Yeah, it lost to Sekiro. It should have. Sekiro was the right choice, right? I need to quickly go and blow my nose because it's really driving me up the wall. I will come back with my thoughts on the rest of these. Give me a couple of minutes. I will be back soon. I put the wrong scene on. I was meant to go straight back to the full screen. I got water. I'm so dehydrated all of a sudden. Oh, that feels better. I've had to use nasal spray. I don't know why. I get this every year. It's obviously something to do with streaming because I haven't been anywhere, so it's not allergies. Unless I'm allergic to you, which is quite possible. Right, should we get back? Let's head back over here so I can carry on judging the Game Awards. Ooh, my frame rate went to shit there. That was terrifying. Right. Action adventure. Samurai game. Yeah, sure. Totally understand why this is here.
Hollow Knight Silksong.
Absolutely. That is a Metroidvania, which is by definition an adventure game. And it happens to be a combat Metroidvania, so it is an action game. And boss fight's hard, man. So absolutely.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
I can definitely see good arguments for this, although you can technically just push people down holes in Indiana Jones. It's the same as the movies. Like a Nazi just sits next to the ledge of something, you just push him. You know, you don't have to get in a fight if you don't want to.
And Split Fiction.
And I guess so. I guess so. I didn't watch enough of that game to have a real opinion on it.
For best role-playing game, the jury selected Avowed, Clara.
Yo, do you remember Avowed? Was that this year? Was that this year? Oh no, I'm sorry. Avowed. That was another one I was meant to try and play this year. I was going to give it a go and just never got around to it.
Obscure Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Oh, it's kind of sad that this came out this year because it could have won in most other years, I think.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
No. Absolutely not. No. It's not. How is this? I'm trying to picture how that you could call this an RPG. Is it an RPG? Do people call Monster Hunter an RPG? Because I don't. I call it an action-adventure game, if anything. Huh. I mean, I guess... yeah, like Monster Hunter Stories. Sure. Monster Hunter Wilds? Like, the only thing I can see is, like, because it does have a story, you are going through it, you are the hero, and you upgrade equipment to get stronger. You specifically don't technically level up, however, your weapons and armor kind of do, and that's how you could argue the whole stat building thing in some people's arguments for RPG. You are playing, and if you want to get down to like the definition of role play, it's like, I guess you are role playing as the one hunter in this group of scientists, you know? The role I play is playing a hot babe. Yeah, we discovered, like, we were just thinking about it, looking at all of our characters, and we were all like, none of us are men. None of us play men or male presenting characters in that game. We all play women. It's so funny when you stop to realize that, like, the only guy is probably my cat, you know? Because it's Isaac. So that was pretty funny to realize. It's kind of the same in Final Fantasy. Nearly everybody plays Final Fantasy as a girl in out of all of our friends. I think we've only got like 1 or 2 people that play guys. I'm one of them, funnily enough. So I don't know. I want to be a little bunny boy. Although when I go back, I am going to be a female Elizan. I think. Because I'm going to play it again someday. I'm going to happen. You play it, guy. Of course you do. You're a fucking normie. He is a very cute bunny boy. Yeah, I logged in. I used a Fantasia so I could change what he looked like. I paid to change his name, and then I logged out, and I never used him again. So I was thinking about starting over, and I was thinking about playing as an Elizan this time.
And The Outer Worlds 2.
That sure is an RPG, actually. Isn't it strange, though? Like, I feel like... Go back. Jesus Christ. I feel like this is one of those ones that it's going to surprise us how many... The term is Midlander. I'm sorry. We don't call them normies. It's not allowed. Midlander. I'm going to use that from now on. We're not allowed to call them normies in this community anymore. We've got to call them Midlanders. Fucking Midlanders. All the Midlanders are going to vote for GTA. I think this is going to be one of the ones that at the end of the year, you're going to discover that nearly everyone played, but they just didn't talk about it because they were so busy playing it. This is one of those wild ones where I feel like people are really, really, really enjoying it. I think Michael was the one person in our community that was talking about being exciting for it. I think. Apologize if that's entirely wrong, but I think this is one of the ones that people are, it was fantastic. I remember who all of you are and what your interests are sometimes. Honestly, I should play the Outer World, but I never got around to it. So I was going to give Outer Worlds originally a go, and I was like, it's one of these though, and I don't like their games, typically speaking. Those types of games, typically speaking. So I just, because it's sci-fi, I was like, no. I'm all right, actually. I think this is going to be the one that surprises people and ends up being like number 2 or something. I think, in my opinion, not that one. This one is the one because I'm like, it's a turn-based RPG. That is an RPG-ass RPG. Motherfucker, it just happens to be French. Still not got around to getting it yet, but I don't have Game Pass. I implore you, don't get Game Pass Ultimate. It's so expensive. But I love sci-fi with goofy humor. So it should be entirely your kind of thing, right? But for some reason, you haven't played it. It's weird, isn't it?
Your Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Again, such a shame that this came out this year.
2, Monster Hunter Wilds.
Shouldn't be a...
The Outer Worlds 2. In the category of Best Fighting Game, the nominees are...
I almost feel like Monster Hunter would be better suited here. You know? Because you're constantly fighting against the menus to play with your friends.
2XKO.
Is that their logo? You can't read that. I sat too close to it. You can only read that logo from back here. Sifu was here. Sifu, I can actually make some decent arguments for. It has Akuma in it. You're right. Monster Hunter belongs here. It even lets me do the... I'm trying to think what any of those moves are. They let you do 3 signature Akuma moves, and I don't know any of them. 2XKO is only on PC ATM, no date for console. I don't care. That is a shit logo, though. That is one of the worst logos I've ever had to read. Other than the Kia logo. I hate the Kia logo. I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about. The car, Kia. The worst logo ever.
Capcom Fighting Collection.
Okay, yeah, I can
2,
see an argument
Fatal
for that.
Fury, City of the Wolves.
Nobody played this.
Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection.
Are we that low for fighting games this year that they had to put in a museum game? Like, don't get me wrong, you can play Mortal Kombat in this, obviously, but this is a... The Legacy Collection is as much a educational tool as it is a set of fighting games, as it is a collection of old fighting games. The makers of The Seed, the worst name car... Wait, The Seed? What is The Seed? Hang on. Kia, I hate it. Hang on. Makers of The Seed. What is that? Sporty Wagon? I don't even know what that is. Kia Ceed Sports Wagon images. What a nasty ass looking car. Fucking worst logo on the planet. I hate it. Anyway. It does have a version of MK3 that was considered lost media. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. This is a fabulous momentous piece that should be for like given an award for archival of video game history. Are we that starved of fighting games that they had to put it here though? Like, I feel like 3's enough.
And Virtua Fighter 5.
Do you know what? I forgot this came out, actually. I totally forgot this came out. I should be playing this. Like, I love Virtua Fighter 5, and I'm not playing it. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Revo World Stage. The nominees for Best Action Game are...
Same category as the one you already had up. This is what I get pissy about. Like, I know whoever it was that came in on the YouTube chat earlier was like, I don't like the way it's like the 90-10 split. I'm like, don't give a shit. I give a shit about stuff like this, because genre voting is some of the dumbest shit on the planet anyway, because nearly everything is an RPG today. Nearly everything is a roguelike, as you're all aware, because of the joke article channel that I have on the Discord that's like, hey, do you want to see some fucking roguelike games? Because I got so many of them in my inbox and it's so annoying. I hate the action category and the action adventure category because there's no difference.
Are Battlefield 6.
Okay.
Doom: The Dark Ages.
That's actually a good point. I'll give you that one.
2.
It moves so quickly. That was less than half a second.
Battlefield 6. Doom: The Dark Ages. Hades 2. Ninja Gaiden 4. And Shinobi.
Okay, so these are all specifically like combat only, really. That's the difference, isn't it? These are highly combat intense only games. Although Doom, I would argue, has way too much storytelling in it to be considered for this category. It belongs in action adventure, actually, because there's so many story beats in it. It's like, I'm the Doom Slayer, just let me hit stuff. Also, VF 5 Revo is just a port of Ultimate Showdown. That doesn't what's the word? It's not preclude and it's not disclude. That's the wrong word entirely. It doesn't disallow. Disclose? No, that's not the word either. I know there's a word there and it begins with dis. It does not mean that it should not be allowed to be voted for because it is a remaster and remasters always end up in this somewhere. Although, are there any this year? Apart from the Legacy Collection, that doesn't count. Yeah, that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be in this category. Just because it is a port or a remaster, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be here.
Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4.
Nobody's playing that. Did that come out? This is me learning that this came out. I know number 2 did. When did you release? October 21st. It's been out for like 2 weeks. I didn't know that. Why have I not seen any adverts of this? Why am I not hearing all the journalists talking about this? If it's been out for 2 weeks. I haven't heard a single fucking thing. This is me learning that it came out. That's so weird for the Ninja Gaiden series.
And Shinobi Art
I knew that
of
one was
Vengeance.
out.
Innovation and accessibility celebrates games that are making our industry available and
We're only 6 minutes in.
enjoyable to more people. The nominees for innovation and accessibility are Assassin's Creed Shadow,
Okay, yeah, I remember them talking some like real big ups to their accessibility features.
Atomfall,
Really? Would not have known that. Doom, absolutely. Doom has a crazy amount of settings in it that can make it completely play how you want it to play. If you want the dudes to just stand there and never attack you, there's settings for that. It's wild the amount of shit you can change in the Doom game if you want it to, because they're just like, if you want to just be a super powerful guy and just go around and beat shit up, you can. You don't have to be good at it. Just turn it down to the slowest setting, make it so that they basically can't ever hit you, and go. I'm like, good on you. That's brilliant that you chose to do that. I've heard more about Ninja Gaiden 4 than that Splinter Cell show. And they've been out basically the same amount of time, yeah. Shinobi is getting DLC boss fights against Eggman and Majima. That's brilliant. I'm glad.
Dark
Good for
Ages,
them.
EA Sports FC.
Why did I say his name? It's not Majima, it's Majima. Fuck's sake. I can't. I have no opinion on this. I have no opinion. I don't know anybody who'd be playing it to give you any information. Actually, I know one person that should be playing this to be able to tell me that, and they haven't told me this. So they probably haven't even been in the settings menu.
26 and South of Midnight.
The accessibility was actually pretty decent in South of Midnight, but I don't see it as doing an awful lot more than like the average. But maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe there's some other features in there that I didn't tick because I didn't need it, that I've forgotten about potentially.
Next up, Best Family Game. The nominees are Donkey Kong Bonanza,
Sure.
Lego Party, Lego Voyagers,
No.
Mario Kart World,
No.
Sonic Racing Crossroads,
Probably.
and Split Fiction.
No. A lot of people really like that Lego Party game, especially in the journalist world. They're like, do you want to play Mario Party but not have it be complete bullshit? It won't do that. However, it is more fun. So, because this is like a almost entirely journalist-led voting system, there is a small chance that Lego Party actually wins this. However, the public do really like this Sonic racing game. I don't like this Sonic racing game. I didn't enjoy it. I'm sad that I didn't enjoy it because I was really looking forward to a new Sonic racing game. But I could see this winning based on public votes alone because A, it's Sonic, and B, because it's actually a really good racing game compared to, you know, the other one. It's a yes from me, dog. Exactly. Certainly not gonna... The thing is...
Nominees are Donkey
Kong Bonanza came out this year as well, and I know children really like that, so a lot of parents are gonna probably vote for this because of how much fun they had playing it with their kids. You know, because it had the... Even if you have like a much younger child, they had the mode where you could play as Pauline, and she basically just had a shotgun as like a megaphone, so she was just constantly shouting complete bananas words, just complete nonsense, like a Gatling gun, just constantly, and you just win the game. Right? It made boss fights completely like not matter because you could just kill him in seconds. And like really little kids loved that. Like the parents weren't especially enamored with it because A, it took any challenge away from the game, not that there was much to begin with. And B, it meant they had to listen to Pauline shouting constantly. But to watch their children like enjoy themselves greatly, a lot of parents are going to be really digging into that. So there's a high chance that Bonanza's going to stick the winner on this one.
Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction.
However, Mario Kart World could win the Midlander vote, right? It could. Like, just because none of us were particularly enamored with it, and I know a bunch of people that were also like, it's kind of just meh. It doesn't mean that like it still sold absolutely bonkers amount of copies. It is in more people's homes than any other Nintendo game, and Nintendo has a has a bit of a handhold on this category specifically. Like it's really hard for you to defeat Nintendo, so they'd literally just be going up against themselves. But Sonic fans can be crazy, so this one it's why it feels so unsure to me.
The best sim strategy game nominees are The Alters, Final Fantasy Tactics, Evil's Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, and 2 Point Museum.
I don't know what Tempest Rising is. I know what all the others are. Just so I can stick my oar in for 1 millisecond.
The Alters.
Don't vote for anything with AI in it. Tactics. I'm biased because I still think this is one of my favorite tactics games of all time.
Final Fantasy Tactics, Evil's Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution.
I kind of want to play this one. This is one of the ones that I'm like, I know I have number 2 and I know I didn't play it an awful lot because I'm not very good at these kinds of games, but there's a lot of pull on this one.
Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization.
However, people really love Civ. But then saying that, I know this happens to every Civ release where people complain when it's out. And then like 2 years down the line, they're like, this is the best Civilization there's ever been. And so like, I can see people being like about it this year, but if they were talking about it in best ongoing game in a couple of years, it could probably win. So this is like a really funny one because it's just like, I only know people that are just like, this isn't as good as the last one. I'm just going to play the last one. And then they'll come back, like I said, in 2 years when all the expansions are out and then they'll be like, it's good now.
Civilization 7, Tempest Rising.
I don't know what that is. What is that? What is that? Is that... It sounds like it's a Civ-like. So let's have a look. Tempest Rising is a real-time strategy video game, so kind of correct. Let me go look at its Steam page. RTS looks like. Oh yeah, this looks like an RTS. You're not wrong. Oh, this is an RTS. This is Command and Conquer. This is Command and Conquer, but modern. Okay, I can see why that could get some nominees.
And 2 Point Museum.
Did he say that one weird as well? Am I crazy?
Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, and 2 Point Museum. These games are...
Sounds like he says museum.
Civilization 7, Tempest Rising.
Let me go and slow it down again. No, wrong one. It sounds like museum. You can't be doing this in a video you put on YouTube.
And 2 Point Museum.
That sure sounds like museum to me, Jeff. Go back again.
And 2 Point Museum.
Yep. Okay. All right. That's twice that you fumbled a word and you didn't do a retake.
These games are nominated for Best Sports Racing Game. EA Sports FC 26,
Sure.
F1 25,
Sure.
Mario Kart World,
No.
Rematch, and Sonic Racing Crossworlds.
Ooh. Okay. So. I love that Rematch got into this, by the way.
They're nominated for Best Sports Racing Game.
Sports racing. It's treating it like it's one word.
EA Sports
Right, so this is the Midlander vote, right?
FC 26, F1 25.
This is the what's the other one? What are the other here's called? It's not. Is it Highlander? This is the Highlander vote.
5. Mario Kart
Because there's less of them, you know. This one is the Lalafell vote.
World, Rematch.
This one's interesting. I don't think this will win it. I don't think this will get anywhere near. Because this is another one of those ones that is like streamer bait, right? It wasn't really streamer bait, but it absolutely was like one of those games that rematches Elizan, you reckon? Just like such a rare vote, like next to nobody played it, but the people that played it really played it. Is that what you mean? Because I can see that. Yeah.
And Sonic Racing.
But this is the best one, right? As much as I didn't enjoy it, I think this game, this categorically has the most going for it out of all of them. I think it's the one that's actually fun. It's just that I'm pissy about the way my race cars feel.
6.
So this will either be football fans or Sonic fans will win it.
F1 25, Mario Kart World,
Or children.
Rematch, and Sonic Racing.
So yeah, that's it. Is it football fans, Sonic fans, or children will win this one?
Crossworlds. Now the nominees in our 3 esports categories, starting with Best Esports Game. The nominees are Counter-Strike 2,
I don't
Dota
care.
2, League of
I
Legends,
don't care.
Mobile Legends,
It's the
Bang
same
Bang,
fucking
and
games
Valorant.
every year.
The
Don't give a
nominees for
shit.
Best Esports Athlete
Don't
are
care about this either.
Rock, Chovy, Forsaken, Kakaroo, Mena RD, and Zywoo.
I've heard of none of these people. I know I'm old. I don't know. I don't watch esports, so obviously I don't know who any of these people are. But I usually have heard of at least one of them in like passing. Kakeru and Menard are FGC. I still don't know who they are. You can say that they're from a place, but that doesn't mean anything.
Chovy, Forsaken. The nominees for Best Esports Athlete are Brock,
Brock. I love the way he spelt his name because it's exactly how Americans say the name Brock. Yeah. Brock. That's really good. And I hope his real name is Brock. I think that's really good. If I recall, the last FGC winner was Sonic Fox in 2018. You're absolutely correct. And I'm kind of surprised not to see him here.
Chovy,
I want to say this one sounds familiar, but I don't know if half of that is just because, like, a lot of these esport game names are, like, half of another word, right? Yeah, anchovy, exactly.
Forsaken, Kakaroo, Mena RD.
Doesn't Kakaroo just mean frog?
Are Brock.
Let me have a
Chovy,
look. Hang on.
Forsaken, Kakaroo.
I'm sure that's just the Japanese word for frog. It is! Great online name. No notes.
Mena RD.
Whereas this guy is wearing all green. I feel like he should be called Kakeru.
And Zywoo.
See, I also feel like Zywoo is someone I have heard of in passing, but I couldn't tell you why. And so if I have, I could be making it up, you know?
And for Best Esports Team, our Special Esports Committee nominated these teams. Gen G League of Legends, NRG Valorant, Team Falcons Dota 2, Team Liquid PH, Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Come on.
And Team Vitality, Counter-Strike 2.
I've heard of none of these. I feel so bad. Team Liquid PH. We're the equally balanced liquid, you know? Kakaru won last year's Street Fighter 6 championship. Okay. I've not heard of any of these, but recently announced that he had to retire. Interesting.
League of Legends,
I've not heard of any of
NRG,
them.
Valorant, Team Falcons, Dota 2, Team Liquid PH, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Team Vitality, Counter-Strike 2.
No, it doesn't. None of it rings a bell. And I'm just like, I know I'm getting older, so I'm getting further away from these people as possible because they're all like 16, but like max 20. But like, I miss the days when I had at least heard of all of them. Do you know? It's depressing. I fall farther from God each day.
Okay, we're almost done, but there are still two very important categories to go. First, Best Game Direction recognizes outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Okay.
The nominees are
Okay.
Claire Obscure Expedition
Yes.
33, Death
I was about to say, I bet you this is going to be exactly the same games. This is going to be the same games in Best Action Adventure and Best Music. It's going to be the exact same. So this is what? It's going to be Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Silk Song, maybe Hades, right?
Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Split Fiction.
Oh shit, okay. That's a genuine surprise that Silk Song wasn't in there.
Stranding 2 On the Beach.
Hang on. Make sure I
Claire
didn't
Obscure
miss it.
Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Split Fiction.
Was not expecting that. This is the sneak in. This is the like, yo, but by the way, don't forget that nobody is making split screen co-op games anymore. No one. So if you're able to consistently keep doing it, you should be in the best game direction category. Silk Song only had 4 directions, up, down, left, and right. That's not true because it had a diagonal pogo stick. Fuck you. The other games have all the directions. She was 8-way, I guess it was only diagonal down, right? So it was like 6-way direction. I don't know, I never played it. I didn't either, I just know about the pogo stick.
And now it's the big one.
Okay.
GOTY, Game of the Year.
GOTY.
Recognizing a game that delivers the
Something so disingenuous about a man, Jeff Sage, saying the word goatee, isn't it? It's like me saying it. I'm not meant to say the goatee. I'm not meant to say the goat, am I? I'm too old. He shouldn't be saying it, especially as he's wearing a suit.
the absolute best experience to players across all creative and technical fields. For this year's awards, our global TGA
Goatee, yeah. Is that what my subtitle said? Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei. You know what I'm doing here. It's gonna be the same fucking list, it always is.
jury has selected the following 6 games as the nominees.
Wait, Blueprints. Wait, let me think about it. Expedition 33, Blueprints, Megabonk. Maybe Ghost of Yotei, because I feel like, while I don't know many people that are playing it or talking about it, I feel like it is one that's super popular. GTA 6, yeah, if it had come out. Okay. No, we'll keep going.
for Game of the Year.
I hope he says them slower.
Rare Obscure, Expedition 33 from Sandfall Interactive.
Okay, yeah.
Death Stranding 2.
That was the one I was forgetting. Fucking hell.
On the Beach from Kojima Productions. Donkey Kong Bonanza
Okay.
from Nintendo. Hades 2 from Supergiant Games.
Huh, interesting.
Hollow Knight Silk Song from Team Cherry. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Oh! Oh! What a surprise! What a sneak in! Okay.
From Warhorse Studios. There
Hmm.
you have it, your nominees for Game of the Year. And now that those are official, you can...
Go back. I mean, I can only rightfully vote for one of these, right?
All Interactive. Death Stranding 2.
Because this one... Death Stranding's always such an odd one to me. Because, like, I know loads of people played it. I know that people generally really enjoyed their time with it. But it's another one of those games where nobody talks about it 2 weeks after it's out. Imagine that the Salt when Silk Song doesn't win. Yeah, this one's an odd one, isn't it? Because, like, I know I'm biased because I played Expedition 33 and I enjoyed every living second of it, and I was really sad when it was done. So I have, like, a particular opinion about it. But this is one that, like, continually throughout the year in my podcast, especially, it is people talking about how much they enjoyed it, and then how somebody else started playing it later, and they took a little while to get into it, and now they can't put it down. And this seems to be the constant story for Expedition 33. It's just it's constantly somebody is talking about it that I am aware of. Death Stranding was, like, loads of people were talking about it and how much they were enjoying it. I've got, like, one podcast that's still talking about it because they're all dads, so they take longer to do things. So it's the Next London podcast, in case you're interested, the old Giant Bomb guys. And yeah, they're talking about how much they're enjoying it and taking it at their own pace. So this is one of those ones that I can imagine a lot of people are doing the same. You know, they get home from work, they're putting in a couple of hours, laying a couple of roads down, doing a bit of logistics, you know, that kind of thing. And then they go to bed, right? So it's just really nice, quiet time playing Death Stranding, occasionally getting a cool cutscene out of it.
From Kojima Productions. Donkey Kong Bonanza.
As I was saying, this is one of those ones that I can see a lot of parents voting for because of how much fun they had with their kids playing it, and also just the fact that Nintendo is such a powerhouse when it comes to these kinds of awards. They tend to get a lot of votes because I'm not saying Bonanza wasn't good. I think it is a good game. I didn't enjoy the demo that I played. I'm very sad that I didn't enjoy the demo that I played, but I know loads of people that sat down with this game and had the time of their life for 3 days, and then they were like, cool, I finished it and it was awesome. You know, that seems to be the general consensus.
Hades 2 from Supergiant Games.
People don't shut the fuck up about Hades. I don't need to offer more voices to it. And the same with Silk Song. I don't play these games, but I know people love them. But this one is a fun surprise. I really like that this is here, and it shows how much like the big PC nerd can really get into something, like, because that's what Kingdom Come Deliverance is. This is the RPG for big medieval nerds, right? They're all like, yeah, I want to have my dumb adventure with my stupid guy where anything can happen and it's all my fault, right? And there's just something so fun and endearing about the fact that, like, this is such a niche game that not really like, I'm not saying it didn't sell or anything, but it's like it's one that, like, you probably don't know more than one person that's played it, and it should be me. I should have been the one that played this because I really wanted to play this, but I don't have a good enough PC, and it didn't run well on consoles, at least on was it on wait, am I thinking of this wrong? Was it on console? I don't remember. It must have been, right? Nintendo's last Game of the Year win was 2017. Yeah, they tend not to win Game of the Year. But they tend to end up in, you know, the family category and just, like, sweeping that. So
or like multiplayer or something. I feel like the only person who's played Hades 2 but has bounced off it. I've not been as invested in it as I did with the first game. And that, you know, that is the nature sometimes of roguelikes, I find. Is like, you know, sometimes you get one that met you at the right time in your life. You're like, yeah, this is the juice. And then you play the sequel and you're like, I had my fill 6 years ago, you know. I'm still okay, actually, and that's fine. And also there were so many games out this year, and this is such a good example going through the Game Awards selections, and me being able to talk about it for what we at now, 3 hours. Like, all right, we didn't talk about it straight away, but we'll call it 2 hours and a half for a 10-minute video. It shows the strength that this year has had. It's been a really bumper year for video games. There has been something for everybody, even if it is like Avowed or Outer Worlds 2. Or like, I'm just going to bring up a bunch of Xbox games now because I was like, you know, Grounded 2, like early access came out this year, and I'm sure there's a bunch of PlayStation stuff that I'm not thinking of, although haha, PlayStation doesn't have any games, you know, the joke, but there was loads of stuff for somebody at some point during the year, and I just think it's so charming that Kingdom Come Deliverance has ended up in here.
From Warhorse Studios.
I really want to play this one as well, though. I'm real sad that I wasn't able to play this one. I really did. I was looking forward to this one. I watched Ko play some of this, and like I don't get to watch Ko very often because our timelines don't hook up. But I tried to go back and watch his VODs for Kingdom Come because I was like, I want to watch a nerd playing medieval shit. This is great.
There you have
so
it,
good for them.
For Game of the Year.
It's Expedition 33, though.
Anticipate more involved from the Game Awards Orchestra playing their themes as part of our musical salute to the nominees live on December 11th. But before that, we need your help to decide which nominees become the winners. Make sure to head to thegameawards.com to cast your ballot. And new this year, download your vote card so you can share your picks on social media.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, I might do that for the Discord. I would be really interested to see what other people vote for.
There's still one more category where the nominees have yet to be revealed.
Ooh.
Player's Voice, where fans
100%
select the winner from 30 nominees.
Oh my gosh, the Game Awards. Welcome in, Zvara.
So set a reminder on the website.
Or is it Zara? I haven't figured that out yet. Welcome in.
All categories will be revealed live during TGA when it streams globally on Thursday, December 11th. Starting with opening act at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 a.m.
Zvara.
GMT.
Perfect.
At
I'm glad.
thegameawards.com and live across every major video and social platform.
Thank you for telling me.
Thanks for watching. I hope to see you live on Thursday, December 11th to celebrate the
So that's Jeffrey Advert's nominees fully announced, exactly. Well, apart from the one, obviously the Player's Voice one will come later date. So that was fun. So that took us 2.5 hours for a 10-minute video, so it's just as well their website was broken. I vote for GamerSups. Oh my god. Y'all remember GamerSups? Yeah, maybe it'd be really interesting if I set up like a forum on the Discord so that we can post our ballots to show what we voted for. That could be really fun. Or I could copy all the answers and do our own one to sort of so that we can see it in a tally or something. But we could just have a Game Awards thing open, couldn't we? So that we can talk about it as and when. So as a heads up, it's as a reminder from earlier, it is midnight on a Friday morning, which is not conducive to UK time for me. I can stay up for the 3 hours it will take, but I would imagine a good number of you, considering most of the community is either UK or Europe, which is ahead of us, which means that 2 in the morning, like Pete said, for them. This is not something that we're going to be co-streaming. I will not be watching it as it is live. However, Maybe we'll do a vote to see, but I'm an American. I said predominantly, not everybody. Like, it's like a 50-50 split. 50 American, and then like everyone else is from closer to where I am in the world. It's real early in the morning for us, and I'm old, so I'm not staying up that late. So I'll probably put it up to a vote to the community whether they want to watch it in the Discord together the following night, maybe. And I'll just stay completely like I'm not allowed to watch it. I'm not allowed to look at the results or anything. I can stay completely free on it, or I can do a stream on the Friday evening, and we can watch it live that way. Again, as a sort of like I'll stay like media silent for the entire day, but I'll leave it down to the community which they would prefer, whether it's a community-based thing that we do in the Discord or whether we want to do it live so that we can record it, obviously, because that's the point for doing the co-streaming stuff, is so that you can see live reactions to stuff. But if you're not bothered about there being a recording that stays in perpetuity on the internet, then we can just do it as a thing on the Discord. So and that'll, I'll leave that up to you, because I'm not I'm bad at organizing shit, and I'd rather just do whatever the community wants to do. I can't really vote on any of the categories, really, as I've only played one of the games nominated. You think that stops people from voting? You think that's going to stop me from voting for Expedition 33 in every category? I'm not going to do that. That's not true, because I honestly do think that for sound design, I could go for Silent. Was it sound design that Silent Hill was in there? I think I could go for it in there. So it won't be winning on that one. It wasn't multiplayer. Where is it? Not Games for Impact. I can't remember. It's been an hour. But yeah, that doesn't stop people from voting for whatever the fuck. They just go like, this is what my mate's like, right? And, you know, sometimes game developers get it wrong, because they're the ones that vote for these, and they voted for a DLC to be in the best game category, you know? Which is the stupidest thing that for anyone to care about or get salty about, but I still did regardless. I was just like, what are you doing? You're not a game. I need a game to play you. That's silly. But it was the best game that year, apparently. So, whatever. Right then, what do we want to... I know adverts are literally just starting, so this is a bad time to ask what we want to do. What time of the night is it? It's 10:30. Do we have anything else that we want to go over and discuss? Do you know, there was a thing that happened right before I went live, and I've completely forgotten what it was. What do you mean? What do you mean my Microsoft order has been processed? That was days ago. Why the fuck are you sending me the email now? That's so weird. Microsoft, you're cooked. Yeah, was there anything else? I'm trying to think. I know there was like another thing that was like this that went live. Where is it? I'm gonna check my emails. Maybe it was an email. No. I mean, there was the Streamer Awards. Maybe it was to do with that. No, there was something. I've completely forgotten. I've lost my train of thought. Should we head on over to the Just Chatting screen in that case? Either way, I had fun talking about it. I think that was... Do you know what? It's actually a really good year for it. CEO of Helldivers 2 be like, we need more nuance on AI discussion. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about video game news today. We're not doing that. That's Friday we're doing that. So we can discuss it there. Although... I will say, as a heads up, never forget that AI needs to have more nuance in it. Discussion guys are usually AI bros, so watch your backs, y'all. People are probably about to lose their jobs at that studio. She's literally... She moved like 40 seconds ago. You just missed her. I'm so sorry. When she comes back, I will let you have take a look at her. Darn it, you just missed her. I'm sorry. So do we feel like that there's any crazy choices in there this year apart from Monster Hunter being an RPG? Is there anything that we feel like should be in a nomination somewhere that didn't show up? Is there anything that you feel was weird or out of place? Is there anything you didn't like? Was there anything, I don't know. I'm just trying to look for shock value. Because personally, I think it was actually a pretty good list of games this year. To be honest, all I played from that list is Sonic Racing and Monster Hunter Wilds. So I'm glad I'm like in the category of people that's played slightly more this year, and yet it was still only really one of those games. I don't feel like and yeah, while I still love Monster Hunter Wilds, I don't feel like they deserve it. They don't. Like, it's like on Discord, there's that feature where you can say like what you're playing and you can rate it. And on Monster Hunter Wilds, I've got I kind of hate it and I kind of love it ticked, because like when I'm playing it, I'm really enjoying it, but when I'm not playing it, I'm like, man, there's so many things wrong with this game. This game could be better. And yeah, I play it way more than I played what the hell is Sonic? You know. So Sonic Racing, I really think that racing category, the sports racing category, is a really interesting one, because like the normies, the Highlanders, sorry, could go either way with Mario Kart or football. But Sonic Racing is the better game. It just is. It's such a strange one. It is the Mario killer. Yeah, I'm just like, that one's, I think, even though that's technically the least interesting category, I think it's the most interesting to see which one actually wins, because it could be such an even keel. I would be really interested to see if Jeff puts out, like, I don't know, how much something won by. I would love to see the graph, right? I would love to see how close some of them might have been, like, and like how close they were to ties occasionally. That I would really adore that. I don't know if he's done that before, so like if he hasn't, chances are probably not going to do that again, because there's stuff that he starts doing and then stops doing very quickly. We can talk about that on Friday as well. And so, but I think that's the one that's sort of like, oh man, this is anyone's game. Game of the Year was a really good one. Well done to the folks at Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that really sort of stood out, though, to me specifically. And I'm just sort of like, not really. I think it's just such a shame that Silent Hill didn't get Best Art Direction nominees, or at least not enough of them to be, you know, pulled into it. I feel like he's really calculated and is scared. He's like, don't let the gamers have any power. He doesn't want to do anything to get any sponsors upset. I don't think it would upset any sponsors for people to know their numbers, because like, you gotta think, like, a lot of these companies, they put out their own sales numbers a lot of the time. So it's not like those numbers aren't like available to prove that their games sold well, you know? So when it comes down to voting, and bearing in mind, I mean, this is what would make it difficult, I think, is because obviously the split is 90% to 10%, and the 10% is the public, is what gets to put towards it, and it is primarily what the judges have put forward. So that would be the reason why they can't reveal something like that. But if they could show us what the public votes were, that would be really interesting. I would love something like that. Oh my goodness. It's ID Catherine. How you doing? Lovely to see you. Welcome in, Raiders. Isaac will say something soon. Do your job. Don't make me pray to the sky. I look weird. The Munch Bunch are bringing you some lunch. My bot is meant to be saying your name and introducing you. I'm very sorry he's not doing his job. I see you're still playing Mario and Luigi. Thank you for bringing your raiders along. Welcome in, raiders. For anyone who doesn't know who I am, I'm Anomalina. I'm a variety streamer from the UK, if you can't tell from my accent. I play primarily story-driven games, and I do a bunch of voice acting. So if that sounds like your deal, don't forget to hit follow if you enjoy your time while you're here. Today, we have been talking about the new Game Awards nominees. So if any of you have seen what the nominations are there any that you're upset about, excited about? Do you think it's actually a pretty round set of votes today? We've literally just finished going through the 10-minute video after 2.5 hours. I know what that's like. I know what Catherine's style is when they're at the beginning of the stream. It's just talking for 4 hours, and I love it. How was Mario and Luigi Dream Team today? Lovely to have you all. I was just saying that, like, I'm really, like, kind of happy for Kingdom Come Deliverance and ending up in Game of the Year, because I didn't expect it to be there. So I'm just like, what a sleeper hit, just running into the middle there and being like, I exist. Like, well done to them. Great aside from one boss. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. There's always one, isn't there, in every video game, especially RPGs. Yeah, I was just trying to get people's sort of like final thoughts before we head off for the evening. I was going to leave gaming news until later this week. The boss fully heals if your hit wasn't excellent. Oh no. It wants you to be a gamer with a capital G. It wants you to be one of those poor guys on the esports team that I've never heard of. It wants you to be one of those. I'm going to head off for night. It was fun watching, though. Also, Sakura Miko should win, but I am biased. Good night. Thank you for being here, Pete. I appreciate you, and I'm sure she probably will. I'll see you later. Thank you for being here. No, yeah, it was a really good time. I did the same thing happens to me every year with Game of the Year is I go into it and I'm like, I bet you I've played one of these games. And sure as hell, this year I've played one of these games. I've watched some people play a couple of the others. Excuse me. Or I've played demos of them, so I have some idea what some of them are like. But in the grand scheme, I've only played one. It's Expedition 33, which is good for me because it's in almost every single category. However, it's not even the one that I will vote for in every single category if I put a vote in. I tend not to actually make active votes. I don't know if any of you do, whether it means anything to you at all or not. I enjoy Game of the Year because it's the big advert fest. As Michael has been calling it in chat today, it is the Jeff adverts as opposed to the Game Awards, because that is what it is when it comes around in December 11th, which is when it's happening this year. If anyone's interested, we're probably going to be watching it as a community, either live on stream or in the Discord, so you're more than welcome if you're interested to come and hang out with that as well. But yeah, it's same thing happens every year. I'm just like, I played one of these, and sometimes I've never played any of them, because I tend to play a lot of the smaller games, or I play old shit, you know, so I tend to miss out on a bunch of them. But Expedition 33 was like, you know, is my Game of the Year. I really enjoyed it. Old shit unite, let's go. Just some old crap. And like literally I've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing a few changes to the streaming schedule in the next couple of weeks, or hopefully in the next month at the very least. And a lot of what I'm going to be changing is probably I can't afford new video games all the time. It's untenable. I don't have a job. So I'm going to just go back into the library. I've got a billion PS2 games. I've got a ton of shit on the PSP. So I'm just going to play those. Especially as a bunch of them are unplayed. So it'd be a good idea for me. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy our big adventure, our big advert fest every December. I always enjoy it. I know a lot of people are all like, you know, kind of like, oh, it's just a place for Jeff to show off all his best friends and make, you know, publishers happy. And I'm like, yeah, and it's fun. Come and enjoy it with us. It's so silly. And I do it for Summer Game Fest as well. I always enjoy it. So But I'm a mark. I'm a video game mark. I'm a video game shill. I'm like, you want to show adverts to me? Let's go. I will react to them. It's good content for a start, and I have a good time doing it every single time. However, I feel like I am running out of room for what we were discussing about today. I'm starting to lose steam. It is getting late. My nose has been bunged for the last 2 hours, which is really annoying. So unless there's anything in particular anybody wants to chat about, it may be time for me to head off as well and maybe send a raid over to somebody else. Pass it on to another good crew member. All right, let me close all this down and bring this up just in case. We can put the chat right in front of me. That's more sensible, isn't it? Instead of me looking over here all the time. Right. Should we see who is live so that we can potentially find somebody? So, if I am not continuing, if we are heading to bed because it is getting late, should we see who's about? And then we can talk about what else we can be expecting for the rest of the week. So, I'm just seeing out of who my friends are available. I'm going to catch up on, oh no, I'm a celeb. I don't even know what that is. Is it I'm a celeb on a catch up on I'm a celeb? I get it. I read it wrong. That's a reality TV show, right? I don't know. I haven't watched TV in like 17 years. I never know what any of these things are. It's a long running one. Good. I'm hopefully you're enjoying it. Ali Mahmood, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Void. You are now a mote of light within our community. Thank you for joining us. Let me see who is on. Who of my friends are around, and we can talk about what I'm going to be doing. That's what I was cut off. I cut myself off, didn't I? So, if you want to see what other things I get up to normally, I normally play video games, and that's what we will be doing tomorrow. I will be live with more Winterborough. So shout out to Future Friends Games. They sent me a key for this, so that's like your heads up, like. My opinion may potentially be biased. That's up to you to choose how you take my word on it. However, it is a cozy survival game where you play as a hand-drawn mouse, and they're adorable as shit. And I've really been enjoying it, and I would love if anyone SM MIDI. Thank you so much for the follow as well. You are now part of the Void. Another Mote of Light has joined us. You're more than welcome to come and hang out with us and find out more about what Winterborough is about. It is a really cute hand-drawn adventure. I'm really enjoying it, and we're maybe halfway through. I thought I was close to the end, but it doesn't look like I was right about that. So if you want to see more of that, that's from 7:30 p.m. GMT. I'll be doing that on Thursday as well. On Friday, we'll be back for more video game chatter, where we will talk about the video game news of the week and potentially some other announcements that have come up that I've forgotten about, and I know I wrote them down somewhere, but I don't remember where. Hi, here from Catherine's Raid. Thought I'd drop a follow. That's very kind of you. I very much appreciate you being here, and I hope you enjoy your stay while you're with us in the Void. Right, should we find somebody to go on raid? Who is on? Everybody. I had this the other day where I was like, I'm not into any of these games. Shall we? I know we go to see Platt a lot, but I really like hanging out with Platt. Let's go see Platt. Let's go watch him suffer. He's playing Demon Souls. He fucking hates playing those games. That'll be a good laugh. Why don't we go see Platt? Platt is a wonderful streamer, really talented guy with an amazing community. He is a beacon of light in the chronic pain and chronic fatigue community, specifically people with disabilities. Argic owner, an Argic knower. Yeah, we have more Argic people in the chat. We know who they are. Yeah, he is currently playing Demon Souls. He plays a lot of PlayStation games up until Platinum Trophy, which is why it's called the Platinum Lounge. But he has a peaceful, calming community that are all gathered around with like different disabilities, and he's constantly like I said, a shining beacon in the community. So please come and give him some love as we head over in the raid over there. I will say my final goodbye. So thank you all for being here. You've all been wonderful. Thank you for keeping me company, and heading over to the correct screen if it's fast enough. Final thank yous go out to the Ko-fi supporters. Plenty stuff in your characters. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you to all the newcomers who came to hang out with us in chat today. You've all been absolutely wonderful, and I loved having you here. Hopefully we can talk more about video games on Friday, and I'll catch you tomorrow for more video games. Let's go say hi to Platt. I'll see you another day. Good night, folks.